Mission Viejo just like last year, but this time the stakes are raised. It's the D2 final at Edison Field on Fox Sports Net 2. From the Big Ed, Edison International Field in Anaheim, Fox Sports Net 2 presents the Division II CIF Southern Section Toyota Football Championship. Today it's the 5th-ranked Cowboys of Chino High taking on the number 2 Mission Viejo Diablos. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Watson. Welcome to the Big Ed in Anaheim for CIF Super Saturday. And you know, it's somewhat fitting that both Chino and Mission Viejo find themselves in the final, because although the history between these two teams may be a short one, it is also bitter. On a chilly night last year in November, the quarterfinals, Mission Viejo and Billy Hart, who's now at USC, he hooks up with Jason Hibbert, 44 yards, 7-3 Diablos, but Chino in the third quarter comes back behind running back Dave Rivera, 5 yards off the left side, and then again later in the third from 24 yards out, 17-7. Mission Viejo's season would end inside the 5-yard line, 3 tries, and Robbie Dubois is turned away. Well, they're both back here again today. John Jackson is back with us, and for Mission Viejo, the number 2 team in Southern California, JJ, they haven't lost since that night, and Robbie Dubois is back. Maybe there's something to prove.
Yeah, no doubt something to prove, because it was a bitter loss. As you see, Dubois, he provides everything. Strength, speed, quickness, even agility. You just see those spin moves. Dubois, they will go through him tonight. He's the first back in Orange County to rush for over 2,000 yards in consecutive seasons. He's second in Orange County in all-time rushing with over 6,000 yards. And tonight, Mission Viejo will go through Dubois, and hopefully that much improved offensive line if they're going to have a chance to pull off an upset over Chino.
Well, for the Chino Cowboys, of course, they beat Mission Viejo last year, but they went to the CIF final and lost to Upland, so they too have something to prove. It's pound on the ground, 2,000 yards rushers.
Yeah, 1,000 yards apiece for Jacob Flo. He led them last week. And, of course, Kess on the right side is also their big play threat. So they have 2 backs in the backfield. They do it by committee in Chino, and a huge offensive line to run behind. But one thing tonight, though, Jim, they will be missing Frank Hernandez, the fullback, the blocking back. That'll be a huge loss. We'll see how they respond.
Way it's supposed to be, the D2 final, 2 teams, unbeaten 2 teams that haven't lost a game in over a year. Chino and Mission Viejo will tee it up. We come back on Fox Sports Net 2.
All-Pro NFL tight end Tony Gonzalez made the student sports cover in 1994 while in high school. So did NBA All-Star Vince Carter. So did a promising high school golfer named Tiger Woods. Student Sports Magazine, the only monthly high school sports magazine that introduces tomorrow's stars today. Over 20 years of exclusive national rankings, in-depth features on top athletes, recruiting analysis, everything you'd want to know about the world of high school sports. Student Sports Magazine, order now.
Welcome back to Edison International Field on Fox Sports Net 2. And how bad did these 2 teams want to get at each other? They didn't even wait for us. They already kicked it off. Mission Viejo has the ball deep in their own end. The ball will be on the 20-yard line. And the first play from scrimmage, your quarterback is Jordan Palmer. You know the name. Yes, he's Carson's little brother, and I promise that's the last time we'll talk about it all day. First team all-league. Very efficient. They don't ask him to throw the ball all that much because they keep it on the ground to this guy. They like to keep it on the ground with a couple of different guys, but Robbie Dubois is the big name. For 80 touchdowns in 3 years. Take a look at the offensive line for Mission Viejo. And there you see the numbers on Jordan Palmer. Over 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. Very efficient is what Bob Johnson, their head coach, says about his quarterback. Radovich, Williams, Dunphy, Dugan, and Wimber up front. Very good, and Johnson loves those guys. Dubois and Padrell are the names in the backfield. Holiday, Vaughn, and Mark Dunn. Mission Viejo again and again. It's Dubois. And JJ, we're expecting to see a lot of Dubois today. Let's take a look at the Chino Cowboys defense. Pete Randy is their defensive coordinator. Run a basic 4-3. Aker to Satala. Ellis is very good. Cedric Ellis, 2 sacks in the win over St. Clemente in the semifinal. Brian Earls, Jason Smart, Chris Cordero, and Ken Williams. And obviously their job will be to focus on Dubois. In the secondary, Tim Cranawenter, Jim Willis, Joe Fleskowski, and Ruben Munoz. Fleskowski is a huge name back there. Plays very well for this group. Dubois a 3rd time. Chino good against the run, JJ, and you would expect that because they see it Monday through Thursday in practice.
Well, Jim, this is no doubt smash mouth football. You're going to see it on both sides of the ball, and that's what Mission Viejo is featuring right now. It will be Robbie Dubois for the most part all day long, but watch how Brett Johnson, the offensive coordinator for Mission Viejo, mixes up the play calls. That is where they get the diversity in this offense, is by mixing up that run game. Right now they've shown 3 different formations and run 4 different types of plays.
Second down and 6 from the 37-yard line for the Diablos of Mission Viejo. Number 2 team in Southern California. Throw it out in the flat. Clark Hardman, the junior. 182 yards this year and a couple of touchdowns. Jim Willis on the coverage, but it's enough. And Bob Johnson. Well, what can you say about this guy? 19 years on the sidelines. Los Amigos, El Toro, Mission Viejo. 3 CIF championships, 82, 86, and 87. And I talked to him with him before the game, JJ, and I said, Bob, it's been 3 years since you've been at Mission Viejo, and you're finally in the finals. What took you so long? 3 years, Coach?
Well, he has definitely made a staple for himself in the high school coaching ranks. Jim, known as one of the best coaches of all time in high school sports.
Toss back to Dubois. He's tripped up, stumbles forward, and that's the thing about Robbie Dubois. It's yards after the first hit. John Monger, 15th season at Chino High School, and before that, he was 15 years at Don Lugo. CIF title, Chino in 97 when they beat Riverside North 19-7 in the final. They also won a CIF at Don Lugo back in 1979. CIF playoffs 12 of his 15 years on campus. That's what you call a good hire, and a real good guy, too. Palmer with trips right. And again, they go to Dubois, so they're moving guys away from the line of scrimmage, but it's not enough. As you see, Paul Jimenez comes up and makes a big stop. Frank Martin is working the sideline for us today. Let's go down and find out what's going on the chalk.
Thanks, Jim. Glad to be here. And JJ, you mentioned Frank Hernandez, the starting fullback for Chino, not being in the game today because of nerve damage in his left shoulder. Where will that really play into effect? Well, Ryan Paldrell plays linebacker for Mission Viejo, and JJ, I think Frank could have wore down Ryan at least a little bit and take away from that offense. But now we'll see what's going to happen on that offensive front for Chino.
That's a good point. They do lose a lot without Frank in there. But right now it's been all Robbie Dubois from Mission Viejo. 5 carries, 22 yards. Toss back, Dubois, and they're going to reverse it, and they're going to throw. They want to go down the left sideline, and it's knocked away.
Well, that was David Frazier on that reverse pass, Jim. And, you know, Mission Viejo comes out with the first new wrinkle. Remember, it's primarily a running attack. They come with a double reverse pass, and that's going to be Frazier throwing the ball to Palmer. Good coverage, good recognition by the Chino secondary. They were able to pick up, not be fooled by this, and pick up Palmer releasing out of the backfield. That's great coverage down the field.
David Frazier now to kick, and they're going to kick it away from the Chino return man. It's Tim Cranwetter. Cranwetter had to go all the way to the sideline to pick it up. Offensively for the Chino Cowboys, well, John Monger is the offensive coordinator as well as the head coach. They go multiple sets. Last week against St. Clemente, 446 yards of total offense. Kevin Glab is the quarterback, just a junior, first-year starter, and it took a while for everybody to respect him on this team. I'm talking about the seniors who had been there already. Pedro Lopez, Retta, Russell, and Parks up front. Aloma, Kess, Expray Aloma. Want to hear the name. Frank Hernandez, not here. Out in the flat, and Chino, the running team, JJ, comes out throwing. And they go to Chris McFoy, who's already given a verbal to USC. Defensively for Mission Viejo, they run a basic 4-3. They have not allowed a 100-yard rusher all season long. Cole, Atuafua, Ali, Passaretti. 4 guys up front. Behind them, Paldrell leads this team in tackles with 78. South Coast League Defensive Player of the Year, Darrensburg Taylor, and Bolay. Daly, Plaskowski, and Tommy Rodriguez. A little bit of a surprise to see Chino coming out throwing the ball, and maybe that's what they want to send a little message to Mission Viejo.
But Jim, both teams in their first series have come out and throw the ball, but don't be misled. They want to keep the ball on the ground. Both teams want to do that. They want to loosen up the secondaries a little bit and force the opposing defense to play honestly. So look for those short, quick passes, but really they want to get to the meat and potatoes of their offense, and that's the running game.
Casaluma is the guy in the backfield. Now he goes in motion, so empty backfield now. Incomplete to McCoy. They'll try to go a little inside screen. Ball falls to the turf. And now it's going to be 3rd and long.
Well, Jim, it's important for Mission Viejo to put pressure on the quarterback, and they do exactly that. Pressure from Chris Cole. He leads them in sacks with 14 on the season. And so when they have to use that passing game, it's very important for Mission Viejo to get in Globb's face, force him to throw early like he did there, and that pass fell incomplete to McFoy.
Chino has only allowed 1 sack in the last 8 games, but Mission Viejo up front, 29 total sacks this year. So the pressure on Glab will be coming. 3rd down and 11. Play action. They want McFoy again. Through his hands, and it's 4th down. Well, Glab has only looked to McFoy in the air. No surprise. Big name.
Yeah, but the one thing that does surprise me, Jim, is that they threw the ball primarily in this drive. Play action fake. They're going to throw the out to McFoy. He really doesn't have anything. They have 2 people on McFoy. Mission Viejo is not going to be fooled by the passing game. They're going to have 2 players around McCoy because they realize how dangerous he is. And you took it off the top, Jim. Headed to USC, signed after his junior season. He's a big-time player.
Kyle Lucarello with a punt. Joe Flaskowski is back deep. Flaskowski, quick early move. Flaskowski threw aside. Penalty flag behind him. He stumbles and falls at the 35-yard line. But this one's probably going to come back anyway. Good return by Joe. Let's see what the officials say. 39 yards on the return, but Chino says it's against Mission Viejo, so that'll back him up. It is a clip.
Yeah, costly penalty. That will negate a good return by Flaskowski.
Now Mission Viejo will still have good field position, and they have the football the 2nd time. No score, the D2 final, and a big crowd at the Big House on Fox Sports Net 2.
ACC basketball, a dominant form, a superior game. After last season's run to the Final Four, the Terps have reloaded. All-American Lonnie Baxter and number 3 Maryland look to avoid the upset against the University of Detroit. ACC Sunday Night Hoops at 3:30 on Fox Sports Net. Basketball evolved to its highest state.
Here are the rules. There are no rules. I'm a fan, brother. That's more than an athlete. And the brain power up here is simply staggering. You are a wuss, obnoxious, sexy man. Fat bastard. I'm trying to talk over here.
The best damn sports show, period. Sports television redefined.
It's over.
Welcome back to the Division II CIF Southern Section Championship on Fox Sports Net 2. Jim Watson, John Jackson, and Frank Martin down on the sideline. Mission Viejo in the red and gold, and the Chino Cowboys. Both teams undefeated. Mission Viejo number 2 in Southern California. Chino is number 5. Ball kept on the ground. This time it's Ryan Powell. Look at Powell dragging guys ahead. 475 yards on the year. They also throw it to him out of the backfield. He's been used a little bit more as this season has worn on, taking a little bit of pressure off Robbie Dubois.
Well, and the coaches told us, Jim, that they wanted to save him for this reason. They didn't want to wear him down during the season, allow him to rest and play exclusively on defense. But here we are in the playoffs, prime time, big time game. You're going to see Pedrell play as much as possible on the offensive side of the ball.
Taylor Holiday goes wide to one side, Mark Hardman to the other. Dubois is the deep guy. Powell. Dubois stumbled, but they were flagging anyway. Palmer rolls and throws, trying to go to the tight end. Dragging across was Mark Dunn, just off his fingertips, and yet another penalty flag. This one right near midfield and on the opposite side from where the ball was thrown.
Well, Jim, in talking to the coaches during the week, you get the feeling that Mission Viejo thought they needed to mix up their passing game and their running game, be a little bit more 50-50. Normally during the season, they really are 80-20 run-to-pass ratio. They felt that they need to mix it up, but so far, they really dominated the front interior line of scrimmage. So it's surprising to see them throw so often. They've had success with Dubois and Powell in the running game. So we'll see how long Bob and Brett Johnson stay with that passing game, that balanced attack, because right now up front, they're getting with it.
And you're talking about Brett Johnson, offensive coordinator, great quarterback in his own right, of course, played for his dad at El Toro, then went on to UCLA and Michigan State before playing both in the NFL and the CFL. Robbie Dubois hit, runs through one tackler, but can't get through the second one. It was Jimenez who came up and finally finished him off. Paul Jimenez, his second tackle today. So that's the thing for Chino. Not only the early pressure, but the follow-up as well.
Yeah, they have to swarm tackle Dubois. There is no secret that Dubois is going to make the first man miss. He's listed at 5'10", 185 pounds, Jim. I can tell you, he is much more of a load than that. Watch him take on the first tackler. Boom, right at the chest, able to break that tackle, but watch the swarming defense for the Cowboys. That's how you have to stop Robbie Dubois, by corralling him and harassing him.
Kenny Williams was the first guy through for Chino. After he got knocked off, he got up and got it back in on the tackle. Now they throw across the middle again to Dunn, the tight end. So that's something that may work. If Chino's going to load the box with 7 or 8 guys, you just dump it over the top to the tight end.
Yeah, there's going to be man-to-man or single coverage in the secondary all day long for Chino. So these are the plays that Jordan Palmer is going to have to hit. Play action fakes, holds the linebackers, and that's just a great throw, Jim. Play action fake, draws the linebackers up. You know Dubois has been effective so far, and then Dunn slips right behind that coverage, comes up with that catch, nice catch in traffic, and more importantly, holds on to the ball.
Jordan Palmer 2 for 3, 22 yards. They go 15 that time to Dunn. Still 3rd down and 1 here. Ball at the 35. Dubois bounce it to the outside. Dubois got the first down, and Dubois got the corner.
Robbie Dubois, Jim, over 2,000 yards, 2 consecutive seasons, and this is how he gets it done all year, working the perimeter game. Now, you've seen him go in between the tackles. Now he goes outside, and for a big guy, you see the shifty moves back up the field, and once those shoulder pads get square up the field, Jim, just a load to bring down. Robbie Dubois, his coaches compare him to Deshaun Foster of UCLA, a great back that Bob Johnson coached at El Toro.
Toss back to Dubois. And Dubois near the 15-yard line. He had 13 on his last carry. Shorter this time as they go between the tackles. No score, Division II final on Fox Sports Net 2. Jim Watson, John Jackson, Frank Martin, and Robbie Dubois, 3-year starter, over 80 touchdowns. Led Orange County at both rushing and scoring. And as JJ just told you, over 2,000 yards 2 years in a row, over 6,000 yards in his career. And he did just pass Deshaun Foster. Had such a great career at Tustin High School. #2 all-time rusher in Orange County history, behind Mike Jones at Laguna Hills. I saw Jones play. Toss to Dubois. Oh, great blocking on the left side. Touchdown, Mission Viejo. But hold on, penalty flag all the way back at the 17. So maybe it wasn't great blocking, JJ. They just caved in that side, but barely a hole.
It might have been great tackling by Mission Viejo on that perimeter. But they told us during the week, Jim, that that's one of the things that Bob Johnson and Brett Johnson, they wanted to do. They think they can expose the perimeter of the Chino defense. They thought it was going to be tough matching up with them head-to-head on the interior with their front 5. But their offensive line, very quick and athletic. They feel that they can get outside and make plays. Dubois did there, but it was called back because of holding.
See if you can pick up the hold and be on the right side of your screen.
Yeah, tough to see
right there on the ground.
Yeah, I think when 2 players are laying on the ground, that's probably a good indication it was a hold.
When you see a big ugly laying on another big ugly, something bad happened. You know, Bob Johnson was talking to us before the game, JJ. He mentioned last year's game, the quarterfinal, and how Mission Viejo had a chance to maybe put that game away early, at least take control of it, and it was a penalty deep in Chino territory that backed them up. They ended up missing a field goal, and he said it really changed the complexion of that game.
Yeah, scoring opportunities, Jim. You have to take advantage of them. Right now, they're deep in Chino territory. This is a scoring opportunity. They need to take advantage.
Palmer taking a long time under center. So 5 easy ones for Mission Viejo on the movement. Ryan Aker, the defensive end, getting a little excited. Palmer taking a long time up the line of scrimmage, getting people nervous.
Yeah, he does a nice job of varying his cadence. Remember, Jordan Palmer has been around. His brother, as you mentioned, Carson, helps him out a lot. They are very close. And, of course, working with Bob Johnson, he has a great field presence as a quarterback.
2nd down and 9 from the 21. Play action to Dubois. They're going in the end zone, and ball knocked away. Trying to hit Hardman on a little post, and Tim Cranwetter, the senior cornerback, was right there.
Yeah, Cranwetter in great position, Jimmy. When you play defensive back, you have to be in position. This time, he is between the receiver and the quarterback. Almost comes up with a great interception. Those are the shots that Jordan Palmer is going to have to hit in this game. Cranwetter up to the challenge.
Palmer needed to put a little bit more air underneath that football because Cranwetter was cutting in on the angle. Receiver was open behind. 3rd down and 9 from the 21. Palmer again to throw. He's got his man, Brad Vaughn. ...21 yards on the touchdown.
Big play. 3rd down. Jordan Palmer straight drop back. He has a mismatch. Vaughn outside, matched up against a strong safety, able to run the out pattern and split away. Jim's the toughest route to cover. An inside slot route, breaking out to the outside. A lot of room for Bond. He gets into the touchdown. Viejo up early.
Ruben Munoz on the coverage, and he couldn't catch up to Vaughn once he caught the ball. The extra point for Jeff Ferrier. Right through, and Mission Viejo leads 7-0. Jordan Palmer to Brad Vaughn from 21 yards out. The number 2 team in Southern California on top early.
Taco Bell, product development.
Yeah. Do you have any burritos as big as Del Taco's Macho Burritos yet? Macho beef, combo, or chicken. Burritos so big they have to be wrapped in a 14-inch tortilla.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, yeah? Well, look out your window. Because here's something that you don't have. You see it?
What's no?
No, it says na.
I don't get it.
Well, it's just a taunt, you know, it's just a childish taunt. Would neener be better?
This holiday season, the compact Presario 5000 TPC will come bearing gifts, like a free color printer, a $50 instant rebate, and free shipping. Not to mention a powerful Intel Pentium 4 processor and Microsoft Windows XP Home Edition, all for just $849. And you don't even need to travel afar. Call 1-800-332-1878 to buy now. You'll get 1 great PC and 3 great gifts.
You're watching Fox Sports Net 2.
CIF D2 championship at the end. Mission Viejo, number 2 in Southern California, scoring on their 2nd drive. Jordan Palmer. Brad Vaughn, 21 yards. Vaughn just dragging all the way across. Ruben Jimenez couldn't stay with him. 3 minutes and 8 seconds. They go 66 yards. And it's one of those statement drives, JJ, especially against a team like Chino that just doesn't let people drive the length of the field on them.
Yeah, Jim, and they did a little bit of everything. They mixed the run and the pass. Palmer hit the big plays when he needed them. And, of course, Dubois did his part in carrying the load to put them down in position. So they strike first, and that is a big disadvantage for Chino because while Mission Viejo has a reasonably very good passing game with Palmer, Chino really more reliant on their running game. They have to keep the ball on the ground, so they cannot let this game get out of control. They have to keep it close. It'll be important to see how they respond here.
Jeff Ferrier puts it on the tee and back deep to Cranwetter. Cranwetter made that good play in the end zone, the cornerback. Chino, a very experienced team. In fact, when we talked with the coaches ahead of time, they said that was one of the factors last year is that Mission Viejo just didn't have the experience. The crowd got real loud at Chino. Great fans out there. Good kick by Ferrier takes Cranwetter into the end zone, and so they'll take it out on the 20-yard line. Just a reminder, tonight at 10 o'clock, Southern California Sports Report, 30 minutes of sports news, completely dedicated to all the home teams right here in Southern California. Simers and Plaschke talking with Paul Westphal. Big win for Pepperdine, banking in the 3. Craig Lewis to beat USC at the buzzer the other day at the Forum. Who's going to the Rose Bowl? Well, we know Miami's going. Is Tennessee going, JJ? Clippers and Kings also in action. It's all in the Southern California Sports Report. Big day in sports. Toss back. They keep the ball on the ground. Alomo. Now, they just call him Kess, so we'll go with that, too. Cassina, Expray, Alomo.
And what a year he has had, Jim. 5'6", 165, only a junior. He'll be back next year, but with that 5'6" frame, extremely strong. He has great power, as you can see, at that stiff arm. So Kess is their lead guy. Over 1,500 yards rushing this year, and more importantly, that 10.1 yard average means there's very few people that can catch up to Kess.
Meanwhile, more bad news for Mission Viejo. One of their players is down, and it's one of their big players. Their defensive leader, Ryan Powdrell, a little slow to get up.
That would be a big loss. They can ill afford to lose Powell. Looks like he's nursing an ankle or a knee.
Let's go down to Frank Martin on the sideline.
Ryan Powell limping off, not associated with this type of injury. But Mission Viejo, it's not a hot day, but it is still a day game. They're in the sun right now. Where does that translate? Well, the Santa Ana winds were kicking up last night. It's a little dry out here, and they're getting a lot of Gatorade, a lot of water over on that side. Maybe something to look at, because that sun will go dead on their sideline for probably another couple minutes.
Yeah, it is warm today. The Santa Anas have come in, and the temperature has gone up about 15 degrees since last weekend. Good defensive pressure. Josh Taylor, linebacker for Mission Viejo, while Powell is out of there. Marcus Daly also coming up to help out. Daly was all league.
Yeah, they're very stout, especially with their defensive tackles, Cole and Atuafua.
Now, this is a great defense, especially against the run. Against Mater Dei, they held the Monarchs to 13 yards in the first half of that game. And as I mentioned at the top, they have not allowed a 100-yard rusher all season. And Chino comes in with 2 guys who've gone for 1,000 this season. A little counter to McFoy. They like to get the receiver the football because he's dangerous. Out across the 45-yard line. Josh Taylor again on the stop for Mission Viejo before McFoy can get going. And McFoy very quick. He goes 15 yards in a hurry.
Yeah, you see a quick reverse to McFoy. Not many touches on the year running the ball. Only 6 carries, but a 20.5-yard average. See the quick inside handoff. This is the thing that will loosen up that Mission Viejo defense, Jim. They are an attacking style defense. They're going to go towards the ball. Misdirection to McFoy will help that.
Jedediah Collins has come in to replace Powell at linebacker. We'll see how fast he can come back. You know, Frank Martin is working on that right now. That is a huge question mark for this Mission Viejo defense. You've got to have your big man, your captain in there, Powell. Chris Cole on that tackle along with Collins.
Yeah, Jacob Flo on the carry, the other 1,000-yard rusher. Really amazing how Chino has been able to balance the workload between the running backs. They have 4 outstanding running backs. You've seen Kess, you've seen Flo. They also have Frank Hernandez and Ricky Powers, who is their short yardage back. We haven't seen him yet today. But they have 4 backs. They share the load.
Kevin Glab to Kess. A little delayed handoff. Kess a nice pickup on 2nd and 8. Taylor again a tackle for Mission Viejo.
You can see the void left when Ryan Powell has left the game. That middle just opens up. This is his area. He's the middle linebacker. But without him in there, Kess has room to run, break the tackle into the secondary. You cannot let him get in the open field, Jim. Very strong, very quick. Has the ability to break it at any time.
Kess picks up the first down. Chino starting to move the ball now on the 42-yard line of Mission Viejo. Their best drive of the day. 4 for 20 now for Kess. Toss again to Kess. Kess ducks in, changes hands with the ball, and gets to the corner. He's knocked out at about the 33-yard line.
Oh, boy, is he a workhorse, Jim. He's starting to get started. That offensive line opened up holes, but watch him set up his block. He's going to take the toss, head up the field right there, then bounce to the outside. That's a great job by Kess. That's a great job of setting up your block. Running backs often don't set up their blocks enough, Jim, and it makes the line look bad. Well, that time, that little inside move by Kess and able to get to the outside really made that play.
Yeah, he's Josh Taylor, 22, coming up on the corner. He's made so many tackles, just got caught inside. Kess set him up. 2nd and 1 at the 32. Bang it straight up the gut. They know Powell is out of there. That's Richie Powers. Richie Powers is their goal line back. Richie Powers has 66 carries coming into this game, and he has 20 touchdowns. That's a pretty good job, isn't it?
Yeah, but that makes me feel if I'm one of the other running backs, I've been doing all the work, put it on the doorstep for him, and he's been catching all the glory. But he is one of their 4 premier backs. You mentioned he does have 66 carries. Considering Azusa Pacific and the University of Arizona for the colleges he might attend next year.
First down at the 29. They're going to throw. They want McFoy at the cone. McFoy goes up, bobbles, and drops to the corner. Double coverage and almost a super grab. Tommy Rodriguez, great coverage, stride for stride with McFoy.
Yeah, double coverage and perfect position on the double coverage. But watch McFoy go up and try to make a play, Jim. Goes up. Almost able to come down with that. That was a great play in the end zone. Great position by the defenders on that play.
I really like the call by Chino as well. On a first down from the 29 when you've just been pounding it with Kess and a little bit of Powers, and then you have Kevin Glab taking up top to McFoy. You cannot forget about Chris McFoy. Look at this backfield now. 5 guys line up in the backfield. I've never seen that. It doesn't last long. Now they empty it out completely and make Mission Viejo go through some mind games. And the sophomore Collins got all excited and jumped. Jedediah Collins, who has replaced Ryan Powell, went out with an ankle injury. The sophomore thrust into the big game, and he just got a little anxious. There's Powell behind the bench, and Frank Martin, what happened?
Sprained left ankle. As you can see, they're taping it up right now. Almost done with the initial tape job. They're going to try to get him as much as get him in the game as quick as they can, because as you can see, Ryan's really preoccupied. It's killing him just being on the sideline.
78 tackles this year, leads the team. South Coast League Defensive Player of the Year, and he loves to play against the run. This is his kind of game. Tommy Rodriguez, the tackle on the short pickup for Chino. Travis Whittick also in.
And a nice adjustment by Coach John Monger. With Powell out of the game, you see that he's attacking exclusively in between the tackles, the void left by Powell. So very important for Mission Viejo to try to get Powell back in this game. If they don't, that huge offensive line for Chino is going to pound it.
Flo and Powers in the backfield. Again, they go between the guards, and again, they attack that middle. It was 3rd down and 2. Chris Cole, the defensive tackle, stuffing it.
Jim, don't expect many field goals from either team. But we talked to the coaches during the week for both teams. They said, I said, what's the distance? What range of kick will you try with your field goal kicker? They said, we don't kick. We go for it on 4th down. So they're in 4th down territory right now. That was 3rd and 3. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and a long 2 right now, or 4th and a long 2 right now.
Well, they have a good field goal kicker in Terrell Chamorro, who's kicked 48 this year. This would be in range, but they're going to go for it on 4th and 2. And that's not going to get it. Mission Viejo with a big stop. 3 or 4 guys in red came through. Marcus Daly comes firing out of there, and John Monger and the Cowboys are turned away.
Well, defensive front play has been the key. You see the slanting defense by Mission Viejo. That's right into the backfield. That's a great play.
JJ, that's Collins, who came in for Powell, the sophomore, just jumped offside. He redeems himself, getting in.
That's a great job. It's an attacking defense for Mission Viejo. They will blitz a backer on almost every down. That time, Jim, as you saw, the blitz into the backfield, that's a run blitz. Able to stop him before he got started.
Big stop for the Mission Viejo defense, and now Jordan Palmer in the offense. Back to Robbie Dubois. And they go between the tackles, and that should be the last play of the first quarter. Mission Viejo much more experienced than last year. Robbie Dubois, you saw it at the top. We showed you the highlight, was stopped in the 4th quarter last year, down 17-7 3 times inside the 3-yard line. Mission Viejo never came back from that. They lost. Their season ended on a cold night in November in the Inland Empire, but Vaughn has put them on top after 1, 7-0.
Having some fun, fellas.
Because it's all wild. Red tail. What?
Got on film? Let me see. It's starting to jump harder now. Woo! Put more power to it now. That loud enough for you guys? That was it.
The National Sports Report on Fox Sports Net.
Jamal Anderson admits that right now he's down, but there's no way anyone should count him out.
The nightly show that brings you up-to-the-minute scores, highlights, and thought-provoking opinions.
We would be better off with a circus clown running the series.
Sports news the way you want it.
Barry Bonds' pursuit of the game's most glamorous record heats up.
The best hour in sports starts with the Southern California Sports Report at 10, followed by the National Sports Report at 10:30.
Oh, hey! Come on. Great move. Shoot it, Korea. He scores! Yeah!
Sportsnet 2.
After one quarter of play, Mission Viejo with a 7-0 lead over number 5 Chino. Welcome back to the 2001 Division III CIF Southern Section Toyota Finals. Jim Watts along with John Jackson and Jordan Palmer in the first quarter. Brad Vaughn, 21 yards and a touchdown. His numbers through the first quarter, 43 yards in total yards in the first quarter. 107 for Mission Viejo, 62 for Chino.
Go
ahead, JJ.
I would say the most important thing with those stats, Jim, is he has been efficient. 3 of 5, 60%. Goes for 57% on the year, 10 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. So he's had a very efficient year under Bob Johnson's tutelage.
That's the word that Bob Johnson uses to describe Jordan Palmer. Again, they don't throw the ball that much. I said, Coach, how much are you going to throw today? He said, well, it depends obviously on the game, but we throw anywhere from 8 to 13, 14, 15 times a game. That's going to be about it, because you have Robbie Dubois in your backfield. You got to spread it around. The 19 years at Los Amigos, El Toro, and now at Mission Viejo. 26-10 in 3 years at Mission Viejo. Last year to the quarterfinals, losing to Chino, and this year undefeated, number 2 in Southern California, number 3 team in the state, and Bob Johnson is the head coach of the number 24 team in the United States in 3 years.
Yeah, and talking to his players during the week, they couldn't say enough about this game because, as you mentioned, Jim, they have an undefeated season last year. The last loss they had was to this Chino team, so they have been looking forward to making amends. They have their opportunity today, and they're also up 7-0.
You think that Mission Viejo was cheering for Chino last week against St. Clemente so they get another shot? Palmer pump fakes, lots of time, throws, and that ball almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of Cranowetter. He was right there. You got to think Tim Cranowetter's going to get a pick today. He's had his hands on 2 balls early.
Yeah, it would have been a tough catch for Cranowetter, but one that he'll probably tell you he could have made. The diving catch, Jim, that would have been a great catch, but Cranowetter has that ball hawk presence. The ball out in front of the receiver. That's one thing Jordan Palmer has to avoid. Turnovers in his own end will make it very tough on his defense.
Well, Palmer's only got 3 interceptions on the year, so something he's not used to. Cranowetter back to return this punt. Hesitates. And the ball's on the ground, but Chino got it back. Cranowetter had that ball pop out, and it looked like Lucarello, this guy got back on it for Chino. Later today on Fox Sports Net, it's ACC Sunday Night Hoops featuring the very best one of college basketball's elite conferences. Don't miss the Detroit Titans visiting Cole Fieldhouse, take on third-ranked Maryland Terrapins. Coverage begins later today at 3 o'clock exclusively on Fox Sports Net, your home for Sunday night ACC basketball. First and 10 now for Chino. They coughed it up. The Cowboys able to get it back. Kess. They tried to fake that end around, but it was so quick and developing that it really wasn't much of a fake.
Yeah, if you're going to run the fake reverses, Jim, you're right. You want them slow and deliberate, give the defense a chance to react. If you're going to hand off the end around, you do want it quick in transition. Watch the fake. Kess goes out. He's going to fake. That fake really just a token fake because the receiver was already past him. Kess out on the island by himself does his best to pick up a yard.
So second down and 11 now. The ball at the 47-yard line of Chino. Mission Viejo leads 7-0. McFoy in motion. And Glab. Instead looking on the hook inside. Josh Tima.
Nice route, nice pitch and throw by Glab.
Tima on the season, that's just his 13th catch.
Coming right into your living room, and Chino usually likes to work the outside with their passing game. Very few in routes, very few curls, but that time Tima finds room, does a nice job of finding the hole, sits down and show the quarterback your numbers, Jim. Basic fundamental receiver play. When you get into that open seam, show the quarterback your numbers, give him a nice target to throw to, nice pitch and catch.
And they're going to go full house backfield again, and one of the guys, number 49, Cedric Ellis, who is a big guy and not listed as a running back. He's just going to come in there and block. And he blows up in a big hole for Jacob Flo. Flo down the left side, inside the 20. Flo still on his feet, and Flo is in the end zone. Touchdown, Chino.
45-yard touchdown, and the Cowboys strike. Jim, look at the hole. You mentioned Ellis was in the game. He opened a huge hole. Flo gets to the outside, bounces. He's the most balanced back on their team as far as doing everything. A great game last week. He puts the Cowboys on the board first today. First touchdown for the Cowboys.
The extra point is no good. And it always seems to show up in CIF finals when you miss extra points. Jacob Flo, 45 yards over the left side. Oh, just like last year, huh, Chino? 7-6.
How's it going?
Good. Lots of room in here.
Yep. And it's going to be getting a lot of use, right, sweetie?
Try that other thing against the seat. Well, what do you think?
This is going to be good.
Dodge Neon RT. 150 peak horsepower, 16-inch wheels, and enough room for, well, whatever.
Now get 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection and 0% APR on 2002 Dodge Neon.
Mom, Dad, can we keep him?
Oh, yeah. We can keep him.
Wiener Schnitzel, America's most wanted hot dog. And now, for just $2, you can get both a chili cheeseburger and a chili cheese dog.
Jacob Flo goes 45 yards for Chino, but they missed the extra point. Still, Chino is right back in this thing. Down 7-6. Before that, the Cowboys had not shown a lot of offense. A couple of short drives, but finally able to bust one through on the left side as they overloaded. Kyle Lucarello will be kicking, and Marcus Daly is deep for Mission Viejo. Looking up into that sun. A little strange deal for these guys. They've not played in the sun probably since they were in Pop Warner. Robbie Dubois is also back. Dubois and Daly. Wait for the kick. The D2 final. Second quarter. And Lucarello with a line drive. And Daly goes over to midfield to scoop it up. He's got Dubois in front of him. Good block by Dubois. And Daly a fine return out to the 35. And that's where they'll take over.
Well, Jim, how about that last play? Great blocking up front. Watch, you're going to see a seal block on this side. And then Flo is going to take the toss out wide. Watch the double team there. You can freeze it. Look at Ellis right there. Cedric Ellis, the big defensive tackle, 6'3", 250. He takes out two guys. And then it's going to be Flo the rest of the way. Through the hole, a nice vision to bounce to the outside, and then his speed, quickness, athleticism. Jacob Flo with a long touchdown, 220 yards last year, and a big play today.
And right back, Mission Viejo coming back with their big gun. Robbie Dubois slashing over the left side. Paul Jimenez, another tackle for Chino. And a first down. Over 100 yards total offense in the first quarter for Mission Viejo. There's Cedric Ellis, back where he belongs, defensive tackle, best defensive lineman on the roster for Chino.
Yeah, Jim, and only a junior. We had a chance to talk to Mission Viejo about Mr. Ellis, and they said they will account for him on every play. It's very important to know where he is at. If he splits out wide to a defensive end position, they will stay away from him. That's how much respect that they have for him. They said they can't afford it when he's a defensive tackle, but if he ever moves out to the defensive end alignment, they will check out of the play and go away from Mr. Ellis.
Ellis, some big schools looking at him, Florida, LSU, and of course all the Pac-10 schools as well. And when you talk to the coaches at Chino, and they talk about this young man in glowing terms, not only about his ability on the football field, but the way he has turned things around. As a young kid, he had some trouble as a youth. He straightened himself out. He's a great football player, and now he's just a role model on campus. The kids just love him.
Yeah, phenomenal football player. And they've talked about how he had a troubled life in his childhood, Jim, and the coaches are most proud of the way he's been able to turn that around, become a good student, and of course, he has the natural ability to become a great athlete. But that was the first thing out of the coach's mouth when they described Cedric Ellis.
They're going to be pretty proud of that block when they look at the tape. Here's Dubois, goes around Ellis, and then Ellis catches him from behind. Out to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, physical phenom is the words that describe Mr. Ellis. As you mentioned, only a junior, leads the team in sacks with 9. It really makes all the plays from that defensive tackle position. 6'3", 250. See his numbers, 91 tackles Just amazing from that position, Jim. Defensive tackles do not have that many tackles at this point of the season.
Had 2 sacks in the semifinal win over St. Clemente. Beat the Tritons 35-7 last week at home. Pitch back to Dubois. Ellis got a piece of him in the backfield to slow him down. And then again, it's Jimenez. How many tackles has Paul Jimenez made already? He's been in every play. Ellis was the first guy there to slow him up.
Yeah, Jimenez came from his strong safety position, but it was Ellis that really foiled this play. Cedric Ellis, just a presence on defense.
There's Jimenez. Has at least 5 tackles that we can count up here already. 3rd down and 6 now for Mission Viejo, right near midfield. Pitch to Dubois. He hands it back to Palmer, and Palmer's going for Vaughn. Well, they hooked up for a touchdown, but that time Palmer just missed him. Vaughn was open, and Jordan knows it.
Yeah, Jim, well, that was a misdirection play. It was a double handoff, and he tossed it back to Palmer, but he had a chance to hit Powell in the flat. If he hits Powell in the flat, Powell can go on and get the first down. Instead, he takes that shot down the field. It falls incomplete, brings up a 4th down, and they'll have to give the ball back to the Cowboys.
And obviously, Powell back in the game. He was out with that sprained ankle. They retaped it. Frank Martin told you about it. He came back in the game. It hasn't been a factor so far, but you know that Powell will get some calls here later. And they're going to fake the punt. Chino doesn't think he got it. It was 4th and 6, and he's short.
And it was Jimenez, the strong safety,
Jimenez again.
Special teams.
They went to Derensburg, Jared Derensburg on the fake. You know, it's one of those places where you take your shot with a fake. Bob Johnson rolled the dice at midfield.
And Coach Monger told us he is a student of the game. He takes film home with him constantly. That time it pays off.
There's Jacob Flo, scored the last time he touched it. Over the right side for a couple of yards. See if Chino can turn this momentum into something positive for the offense right now. They've been playing much better here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, you take your chances on special teams when you run fake, Jim, and that one might prove to be costly because they're going to give Chino the ball at midfield. And anytime you're facing a running team like Chino, you want to give yourself as many opportunities as possible and really play a field position to the game. That time, Bob Johnson takes his chance with a fake punt. We'll see if his team can be stout enough on defense to hold it.
There's Kess. Kess is wrapped up and rolled down. Andy Passaretti, defensive end with the tackle. John Munger, 233 victories. You see the 15 years at each of the schools. A CIF title as well. 43 players he has sent to college on Division I scholarships in 14 years at Chino. You do the math, 14 years, 43 guys. And when you talk about this football team, he brings that up, how many guys they've sent to college, and how many guys they have on the honor roll. That was the first 2 things he said. 37 guys on the varsity made the honor roll at school last semester. You think he's got his perspectives?
He has
a super guy.
He does have his priorities straight. He said that's the job of the head coach. The head coach, his responsibility is to get his players into college, whether it be athletics or academics. That's why he stresses both, and if they don't make it athletically, they can always fall back on their academics to get that college education.
Pass to Ryan Putman was incomplete, so it's 4th down, and Munger talking to Kevin Glab. Not only worried about the rest of this game, but Glab's just a junior, so we're coaching for the future as well. This is a great program, Chino. For the last 5 years, been in the CIF finals. Just a fixture in the playoffs now. Joe Fleskowski is back deep for Mission Viejo. Lets this ball land, rolls inside the 10, and all the way down to the 5-yard line. That's a great punt. 42 yards. That's exactly what you wanted. And Mission Viejo will start deep. Well, don't miss the new show. Everybody's been talking about it. The Best Damn Sports Show, period, featuring a comedian who's a diehard sports fan. A bunch of ex-jocks who really know the game. The critics calling it a collision of sports and comedy. Introducing the Best Damn Sports Show, period, weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 only on Fox Sports Net. Good look at a good crowd. Edison International Field, they're expecting somewhere in the teens, 13, 14,000. You see Jordan Palmer and Mission Viejo taking on the Chino Cowboys. Both teams undefeated. And a breakaway for Dubois. Dubois trying to go 95 yards in the CIF final. He got stopped at Chino last year and ended their season and he is paying it back from long distance.
Power, speed, what a combination. He's used it all today, Jim, and he shows the speed portion of it on this run. Robbie Dubois, it's a counterplay. Nobody touches him. He's into the secondary before they even realize it, and then it's a straight-ahead speed. You see him look over his shoulder now. He says, forget it, I don't have enough speed. I can get there. 95 yards. Robbie Dubois hits your head on the goalpost. Touchdown, Mission Viejo.
They fake the extra point and give it to Dubois, and he scores the 2. Mission Viejo was not playing around. 15-6. Robbie Dubois, he had to live with the memory of last year for 12 months. He goes 94 yards to purge the pass.
This holiday season, while you're dashing around before the big celebration, stop for a moment to consider those less fortunate than you.
The holidays should be joyous, but for some, they can be devastating.
Like folks who may find themselves homeless, depressed, living in poverty, or alone in the world.
This holiday season, count your blessings and take a moment to make a difference in someone else's life.
The best damn sports show, period. Join Chris Rose, Tom Arnold, and a bunch of opinionated ex-jocks as they take you places no other show dares to go. Sports comedy, commentary, updated scores and highlights.
Come on and feel the love for the guys.
The best damn sports show, period. Weeknights at 7:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net. And if you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you want to be part of the best damn studio audience, give us a call at 213-833-6322.
You're watching Fox Sports Net 2.
Robbie Dubois, 94 yards on the run to put Mission Viejo ahead 15-6. He also got the 2-point conversion. Is he thinking about last year anymore? I don't think so. He's living in the present. Now let's see how Chino responds to this. Jeff Ferrier to kick off for the Diablos. And Tim Cranowetter is back standing at his 1-yard line. In high school football, you cannot run the ball out of the end zone. And so this one is going nowhere. Look at Ferrier kicking it out of the end zone. Yeah, there's a little breeze here, but not that much. Robbie Dubois. Now, I don't know if this is a D2 CIF final record, but it's got to be close, JJ. If it's not, 94 yards?
Yeah, 94 yards and a cloud of dust for Dubois. They told us he had great speed, but you know, Dubois is a bigger back. He doesn't look like he possesses that great speed, but I tell you, he pulled away from the field. Now, this 2-point conversion, Jim, a great call. You see the holder, he doesn't have his knee on the ground. He can pitch the ball into Dubois, scores the touchdown, but I'll tell you more importantly, that's a great call by Bob Johnson.
We come back to McFoy. They want to get the ball in the hands of Chris McFoy, whether it's on a run or a pass.
Jim, the reason I think that's a great call by Bob Johnson, you can afford to gamble in that situation. You're up by 7. If you score, you make it a 2-score game. If you go for 1, Chino, of course, will have to score and then go for 2 points on their conversion. So he really just separated the field. By scoring this time, it gives Mission Viejo the lead. It'll take 2 scores for Chino, and of course their kicking game a little bit suspect.
Bob Johnson's been on the sideline for 19 years. He's a very creative guy. If you've watched any of his teams, they do things that are unbelievable. And then you sit down and think about it, it turns out to be a great call. He knows how to manipulate this game. Of course, both his sons, Fred and Rob, grew up playing football. They both ended up in the NFL. And in fact, Bob told us that as soon as he's done here, he says, when my business is done, I'm catching the red eye to Buffalo, go back and see the Bills.
Yeah, he says he never misses one of Rob's games. Had a chance to see him when they played the 49ers. Of course, there's Brett, the offensive coordinator, his brother, starting quarterback for the Bills. So Rob out with the injury. He's going to be out for the year, it looks like. If anything, he might be able to come back the last game, but with the collarbone, a separated collarbone injury, his return unlikely.
3rd down and 1 from the 29. Chino just trying to get first downs now. And that's Richie Powers. Bowles ahead and will move the chains. Now, I think Chino's a little surprised right now. This is the biggest deficit that they have faced all year long. They've been down a couple of times early by 7 points. They've never trailed at halftime of a game, and you have to wonder, especially in a final, come in maybe a little excited. It's the big stadium, and now you find yourself down against another undefeated team, and you start to doubt. You go in the locker room. Unfortunately, when you're behind, they have mirrors in there, and you got to look at your own eyes.
Right, Jim, but the one thing with this Chino team, it is a veteran team. Remember, the team that went to the championship game a year ago returned a lot of juniors. Their experience, they'll handle this pressure.
Kevin Glab out in the flat. Jacob Flown, he took a big hit, but he made the catch. Tommy Rodriguez on the hit for MB, 16 yards.
Nice catch by Flo and a bigger hit by Rodriguez. Nice throw by Glab. Look at the adjustment by Flo. Helmet-to-helmet contact is legal in high school football, Jim. That's a big hit by Rodriguez. Nice concentration by Jacob.
Good flow by Kevin, or a good throw by Kevin Glab, the quarterback, had his man out in the flat. Throwing to keep Viejo honest on the run. Yeah, Chino has all those great rushers, JJ. We mentioned the 2,000-yard guys, but you have to put the ball in the air because Viejo's just going to challenge you. They're going to put everybody up close. They're going to say, go ahead. Last year you ran it down our throats. It's not going to happen this time around. We're going to be ready for it. So if you're going to beat us, it's going to be through the air, and that's something that Chino's not comfortable doing.
Yeah, well, so far, Mission Viejo has had 8 guys in the box on almost every play, so they're going to have a man that is not going to be able to be accounted for by the Chino offense. So knowing that, Chino's going to have to mix it up with counters and misdirection to try to account for that person. But as you mentioned, Jim, they're going to have to loosen up the defense a little bit with the passing game.
You knew they'd go left here. They overloaded that left side, and Kess with a pretty nice pickup as we near the 3-minute mark in the first half.
Time of possession, a key for both teams. Chino offensive line averages 275 up front, and they want to get into this smash mouth type of football. You see the pursuit by Mission Viejo. They have a lot of players in the area on all plays, so far their defense has been up to the challenge.
Rodriguez again coming over from the quarterback spot. Actually, he's playing safety right now. And Glab taking his time, 2.5 minutes. Score here would be critical for Chino. Got to get something on the board here. Glab again to throw. Safe route. Again, Jacob Flo. And Jacob Flo does a nice thing here, JJ. He saw a lot of red shirts. Rather than make some moves and dance, he just said, fine, I'm going to take what you're going to give me. I'm going to plow ahead.
Yeah, north and south, and that's really just having a great presence for the game. Jacob Flo, only a junior. He'll be back next year. Watch the pitch and catch. Flo's going to catch it. And as you mentioned, Jim, once he sees daylight up the field, he knows where the first down marker is. Give me the first down.
That's right. He just passed the sticks. He wasn't trying to score. Just get the first down and move the chains again. It's a first down at the Mission Viejo 37. 2:05 now to play in the first half. Mission Viejo leading 15-6. Number 2 team in Southern California. Chino is number 5. Both are undefeated. It's the D2 final. Cass loses it. They tried to fake that end around. Cass bobbled it. Mission Viejo says that they have it. The referee, Stan Dominguez, is right there, and he says, no, that ball is down. And it's second down for Chino.
Yeah, that's a good call by Stan. He was right on top of that.
JJ, I don't know if Kess ever got the handle on the pitch. He was trying so quickly to catch it and fake it.
Well, we saw that reverse earlier where it was really a token fake and really a quick fake. Well, that time, Kess catches the ball and flows a little bit too tight to him. Flo, I think, bumped into the ball, knocked the ball loose. Kess just does a nice job to get back on it.
John Munger and Chino take a timeout here with 1:36. That backfired on them a bit at the 42-yard line. Chino has 2 timeouts left. Mission Viejo, if they want the ball back, they have all 3 of their timeouts. Now tonight on Fox Sports Net 2, don't miss exciting NBA action. Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. All the action starts at 6 o'clock. Paul Sunderland at Clippers courtside, followed by the tip-off between the Clips and the Hornets. Clippers basketball later tonight at 6 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Net 2. Be sure to tune in and check it out. JJ, Clippers last year, 31 victories. Over-under on that this year? I get way more 31 this year.
Elton Brand has been the difference for the Clippers, Jim. I had a chance to get out to a couple Clippers games. They are playing very well, especially up front. A little Candy doing a nice job. And Elton Brand has made his presence felt.
Elton Brand's a great pickup for them.
Yeah, big pickup by Elton Brand.
John Munger and Chino trying to pick up some points here. How critical for them to get something on the board here, JJ, before the half? Does it matter, or can they go in 15-6 and make a comeback?
Well, it would give them a huge lift in momentum going into the half and bring this game back
is it worth the gamble, I guess, was the question. And they're going to put the ball in the air, and they're going to pick up that first down. Ryan Putman, the senior tight end. And the coaches at Chino say that this guy could be a sleeper for recruiters. He's got good hands. They say he's even a better blocker, and Glab hit him for the first down.
Yeah, he has the size and also the route running ability right here into the seam. Nice catch. He's a good blocker, Jim, and he can get down those seams. So 6'3", 235 senior could be a steal, if you want to call it that, for any college team.
Clock running at 1:20, and maybe it's time for McFoy again. Tima is also in. McFoy goes in motion, and they want McFoy. He's got one-on-one. Chris McFoy. And a flag. He didn't catch it, but he gets the flag.
That is going to be pass interference. The defender never played the ball. He just played McFoy, but really, Jim, in his defense, he had no other choice. McFoy was way behind the defender. Nice job just being able to break that ball up.
Now, looked like Kevin Glab just underthrew it a little bit because you can see McFoy is deep, and he's got the touchdown. Had to come back for it.
Well, that's Marcus Daly on the coverage, number 9, and you see he is beat right there, so Daly does a nice job of just break it up. I'll take the 15-yard penalty, but I can't afford to let McFoy come down with a touchdown. So really, for Marcus Daly, that is a heads-up play. The 5'11" junior able to break that play up. Otherwise, McFoy would have had a touchdown.
Yeah, and it's a good play for a number of reasons. One, he obviously didn't get the touchdown, but in high school football, the ball's not at the 1-yard line because the penalty was in the end zone. It's just from the line of scrimmage, and so the ball is just at the 13-yard line, and it's a first down with 1:04. And Jacob Flo gets upended in the backfield.
That's Whittick.
Travis Whittick, a super play.
Whittick getting a lot of playing time, really as a nickel back today. Not normally the starter. They usually go with a 4-4. But considering all the speed that Chino has, they've inserted Whittick into that backfield, and he comes up with a big play. Watch him just dart underneath the fullback. That's classic. That's textbook, Jim. That is a great play by Whittick.
And more importantly for Mission Viejo, it forces Chino to call another timeout. So now they just have one left with 51 seconds, and they're faced with a 2nd and 13 from the 17-yard line. There's Ryan Powell pulling the helmet back on. He went out with a sprained ankle before they taped it up, and I've been watching him. He looks like it doesn't bother him too much. Maybe it wasn't a bad sprain.
Yeah, he showed no ill effects from that ankle injury. But, Jim, this is the big dance. You cannot afford to be anything less than 100%. He'll worry about that ankle injury tomorrow.
Mission Viejo through the playoffs. As we have time, we'll run through it. They beat Etiwanda in the first round, 49-3. They beat Upland in the second round. Upland is the team that beat Chino in the final last year, 28-21. Bob Johnson and the Diablos beat Upland. And then last week, 41-0 over Alta Loma. And they said on the way back, they drove right by Edison Field, and they said that's when we started getting excited. That's when we started really thinking about it. I mean, that is domination, lighting up just 13 points throughout the playoffs. And for Chino, now they beat Downey in the first round, Damien in the second round, and just pounded Eric Patton and St. Clemente in round 3, 35-7. And JJ, one of the storylines, and it carries over into this game, was how the folks in Chino, in the Inland Empire, they say, hey, you Orange County people, you don't respect us, and we're going to prove it to you in the final. They said that St. Clemente came in with a little swagger and didn't really expect to get the kind of game they got from Chino. Chino pounded them. They said, and we're going to teach Mission Viejo when we get to that final as well. They wanted some respect.
Yeah, they do want their respect. They think that there is some high-class football played in the San Bernardino County. They are tired of hearing about Orange County. They say, though, they are the blue-collar workers. They just get it done, nuts and bolts, down in the trenches. We'll see what they call here. This is a big second down play.
Second down and 13 for the 17-yard line. Glab sends everybody in motion. And he throws to Flo. Flo to the 6-yard line. Now it should be short of the first.
It will be with only one timeout. Coach Monger has some decisions to make.
Now they're taking their time. And Glad comes all the way over to the sideline. The clock is running.
Yeah, Mission Viejo very soft in coverage. Third down, you have 2 plays to make it.
And remember, they have 1 timeout. 3rd down and 3. Ball to 6. And Glad now calls the timeout.
Jim, as you can see, all types of confusion on that play. They never got on the same page, and then when they lined up, they were not in the right formation. So they let the clock wind down to 13 seconds, really putting it in the bind now, because if they throw the ball or run the ball and it is tackled inbounds, the clock will run out before the half will end, before they can get off another play.
JJ, I'm not going to stand up here and second-guess a guy who's been coaching high school football for 30 years, but what was the thought process? Because they could have called the timeout with 30 seconds or 25 seconds, and then I realized you don't have your timeouts anymore. Maybe you try to get the first down and you try to kill it, but you maybe have time.
Well, I think what he was trying to do is he felt that they had enough time to get a playoff, and if they would have lined up crisply and ran a play, they would have been able to run a play and keep the ball inbounds, then burn the last timeout. So he was trying to get his team to get up and run a play, but lack of sense of urgency from his offense, they were unable to get that play off, so he had to burn the timeout. That was really a nice job by Glad, because the last thing you want to do is penalize your team 5 yards and make this play come from about the 11 or 12 yards.
All right, so enough of what happened. What do you do now? You got to throw the ball?
Well, you got to throw the ball, and you got to throw the ball in the end zone. The 2 players you want to look for in this situation are going to be Jacob Flo and are going to be McFoy. If I were them, I'd like to see them run a type of 2-man route. Load them up to one side, run a 2-man combination route.
I throw it to that guy right there. And I don't throw it to him in the end zone either. I let him run with it.
Oh, you got to throw it in the end zone, Jimmy.
Throw it short, let him run it in. There's Glad. Rolling soft to his left. Pressure coming, he's going down. Oh, a huge stop for Mission Viejo. Chino trying to line up. And it's not going to happen. The half is going to end. Mission Viejo, a huge stand. Chris Cole leads the team in sacks, gets number 15, the biggest one of the year. Great effort, just tripping up Glad.
Was a tremendous effort by Cole. Comes up with the sack, and more importantly, the momentum going into the locker room for the Diablos.
Mission Viejo with a stand, just like Chino did to them, but this was the big play of the first half. Robbie Dubois on first down from his own 6-yard line. Hops through the line and goes the rest of the way untouched. 94 yards. Dubois followed that up with a 2-point conversion on a shovel pass. And Mission Viejo leads Chino 15-7 at the break, and the folks from the south part of Orange County got exactly what they wanted, to trip up on a sunny day. CIF Division II final, trying to finish off an unbelievable season, a perfect season. Both teams undefeated. Let's get down to Frank Martin.
Here with Coach John Monger on the sideline. Coach, last play right there, what were you guys trying to do?
Well, I guess it was a pick play right there, and we had a flood route, and we told our quarterback, if he's covered right here, just throw the ball away, and I guess he got sacked right there. So, you know, we got to get our running game going in the second half right here. We're throwing the ball a little more than we want to, but Mission Viejo's got a great defense right here, but, you know, we got here on the running game. That's the most important thing, and, you know, we got to score some points.
First time you've been down at halftime. What do you give? What kind of speech do you give at halftime?
Well, I tell you, you know, our kids are great kids here at Chino. They work very hard to get here right here, and we'll come back. I mean, to me, no lead's a good lead right here, and we'll come back and we'll have a great second half, trust me.
Thanks very much for joining us, Coach. So the prediction right there already. They'll come back in the second half. Back up to you, Jim.
John Munger, he's been around a long time. He's just got to go in and reshuffle the deck a little bit, and as he said, get that running game going. That's what got Chino here. That's what'll get him home. 15-6 at the break.
Watch this carpet stain closely. It's out. Completely. Incredible. Introducing Out and Clean. It's the first stain remover for carpeting that works instantly. Just spray it on, and the stain is out. Your carpet is left spotless. Hot coffee, iced tea, even red wine. Just spray on Out and Clean and watch that stain disappear right before your eyes. No rubbing, no scrubbing. What a difference. Uh-oh, this calls for professional cleaning, but not when you have Out and Clean. Just a simple spray, and those ugly black grease stains vanish in seconds. Whatever the carpet, whatever the color, Out and Clean quickly removes any stain, even month-old smelly pet stains. Out and Clean gets rid of both the stain and the odor, but that's just the beginning. Out and Clean works great on upholstery, too. Mustard, ketchup, even gravy stains disappear like magic. You have to see it to believe it. soft drinks, grape juice, even melted chocolate is no match for Out and Clean. Just spray it on and the stain is out. It looks like new. And look, don't take those draperies down to clean them. Just use Out and Clean on those age-old stains and you'll never know they were there. It works great in your car or van, too. Any stain on the carpet or upholstery is out with just a spray. Why try to scrub stains the old-fashioned way? With Out and Clean, you just spray it on and the stain is out. What a difference! This incredible cleaning marvel is yours for only $19.95. Guaranteed to remove any stain instantly or your money back. But wait, through this exclusive TV offer, if you call right now, we'll double your order at no extra charge. That's right, you get 2 large spray bottles of Out and Clean for only $19.95. So order now.
To order Out and Clean, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-369-8500 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $6.95 shipping and handling to Out and Clean, 6960 Eastgate Boulevard, Lebanon, Tennessee. Call 1-800-369-8500.
Back here at halftime at Edison Field Division II final, Chino finds themselves down at halftime 15-6 to Mission Viejo. Now Mission Viejo head coach Bob Johnson is to quarterbacks what Pete Newell is to big man in basketball. What am I talking about? Well, he develops quarterbacks at the high school level, moves them on to college, and a couple of them have gone on to the pros, namely his son, Rob Johnson. And as Jim Watson describes here in this story, he's got a lot going on down there in Mission Viejo.
Every year, the top high school quarterbacks in the nation travel from all over the country to Orange County to learn from one of the best coaches in the game. His resume is impressive. 3 quarterbacks he's coached have gone on to play in the NFL. As a result, Bob Johnson and his Elite 11 quarterback camp are starting to draw national attention.
We get the top 11 so-called quarterbacks in the country, and we do that by watching a lot of film, by seeing them in person at the Nike camps as we rotate around the country. It's becoming very popular to make this, so they travel to these to make it, so I get to physically work them out for 2 hours.
And it's not just high school kids who attend. College quarterbacks from all over the country are invited to be counselors. Players like Rohan Davey from LSU, Kurt Kittner from Illinois, Jonathan Smith from Oregon State, and USC's Carson Palmer. And they all agree that they learn a lot from Johnson.
His knowledge goes way beyond a lot of the coaches I've been around. And so anything I can gain from coming to the coach, hearing from a guy like Coach Johnson, it's something that I'll cherish.
The camp also brings out other interested spectators, like former Cleveland Browns head coach Chris Palmer, now the Houston Texans offensive coordinator. He knows Johnson's reputation for building fine quarterbacks when he coached his son, Buffalo Bill QB Rob Johnson, when he was in Jacksonville.
He's an outstanding coach. You can see that Rob Johnson had outstanding training as a young player, and then I followed Bob down through the years now, and they've done an excellent job, and you can see the quarterbacks getting better with each practice.
The teaching doesn't stop on the field. Johnson also takes the players into the classroom where he teaches them there's more to being a good quarterback than just talent.
As soon as you start thinking you're good, guys, think about the word T in team, and I'll guarantee you that's the answer. Because there's not anybody in this room as quality as you guys are. If you forget that ever in your life, or in that huddle, or more importantly, in that locker room, and with your buddies in this team game, you're history.
It's a lesson he has taught his sons and former Bears quarterback Steve Stenstrom that has made him not only a good coach, but a proud father.
It was nice to have 3 pro guys in a row. Now it's even nicer not only to have Rob still playing and starting in the league, but also Brett, my oldest boy, is out of the league now and coaching with me, both at the high school level and at the elite here. So I can't have it any better.
Bob Johnson working his magic with quarterbacks from across the country and across Orange County. And you're watching him trying to make some more magic in the Division II finals. His team, Mission Viejo, leads Chino 15-6 at halftime on Fox Sports Net. Back.
Don't worry about when it's time to change your wiper blade. Get Smart Blade, the revolutionary new wiper blade that not only outperforms standard blades, its exclusive wear indicator turns from black to yellow when it needs replacing, which, trust us, will be a while. Smart Blade, it's time for a change. Look for Smart Blade at these stores everywhere.
Unwrap the savings now at Good Guy's Great Gift Sale. If digital sound is on your list, we've got it. For home, Sony's DVD Dream System Home Theater only $5.99 with 5 free DVD movies. For car, Kenwood CD receiver with remote, only $149 after rebate, plus free installation on all car decks, CD changers, speakers, and amps, over $99 after mail-in rebate. Or get personal. Philips portable CD player with digital tuner, only $59, save $30. The great gift sale is on now. Better stuff, fiercely competitive prices, good guys.
Want to get a great $6 restaurant burger without the restaurant? The $6 burger, only $3.95 at Carl's Jr.
Legendary team. 1. Legendary challenge. The Lexus Gauntlet. Thrown by your Southern California Lexus dealer.
Edison International Field of Anaheim, the CIF Southern Section Division II championship game, and at halftime, number 2 Mission Viejo leading number 5 Chino 15-6. Jim Watson back with John Jackson. And your impressions of the first half? Mission Viejo, pretty good football team. Chino's got to get their run game going.
Yeah, Chino does have to get that run game going. That's what got them here. They've thrown the ball more than usual in the first half. They're going to have to get that run game started. But Mission Viejo, I'll tell you what, their defensive game plan has just been phenomenal. They are shutting down a very good Chino offensive attack. If that keeps up, it's going to be tough for Chino to come back.
And a huge stop for Mission Viejo at the end of that first half to keep Chino out of the end zone and preserve that 15-6 advantage. And Chino's never trailed at halftime of any game this entire year. Of course, both teams are undefeated. Well, during the year, we've been all over Southern California. We've seen some great football players. So, as is the custom here, we like to put together our all-Fox team, and we begin on offense with Big Ben Olsen, the lefty quarterback from Thousand Oaks.
Yeah, strong arm, and he has been exceptional this year, over 2,800 yards passing. Quentin Daniels, a big player, receiver from Loyola, has made plays like that all year long. Only 32 catches, but he is a big play threat. And then, of course, you see Maurice Drew. He dismantled Long Beach Poly in the game of the year. You get a chance to look at the rest of the team. Herschel Dennis up there as a running back. Maurice Drew, Terry Richardson, the star out of Centennial. Quentin Daniels, and, of course, Mercedes Lewis, who will be on that Poly team. Winston Justice, another person of Poly. This is not the all-Poly team. It is the all-Fox team. Chris Doyle, James Benelli, Chris Frome, and, of course, Derek Landry from De La Salle. Another outstanding player. That all-Fox team, Jim, so impressive. We have seen a lot of great players this year. That list is just the reason why.
JJ, you and I get to watch a lot of college football. You work sidelines in the Pac-10, and I work around Pac-10 as well with the magazine show. And we see a lot of guys, not only from the Orange County and Inland Empire, but all over Southern California. And this year especially has been fantastic on the defensive side of the ball. And the big guys up front will begin with Kevin Harbor from Loyola, who's going to stay in town and play at UCLA.
Yeah, I love Harbor, and watch how he just slices his way through that Long Beach Poly defense. He is all over the field, and of course, Manuel Wright. He is huge inside. 81 tackles and 10 sacks, that being one of them. The last one, Dominic Ricard from Modern Day. That night against, he was all over the field, making plays like that from his linebacker position. A very impressive defensive team as well, as you see Wright, Harbor, Ricky Parker from Los Alamitos, and Matthew Malele from Carson. He is only a junior. Chris Slapnicka from Loyola, a senior. You get a chance to see Ricard. And Michael Oakwo, the two-way player at linebacker and running back. Doug Middleton, the Servite defensive safety. Darnell being another safety. Danny Foster from Centennial. And Dave Anderson, who had just had a tremendous night the night we covered him against Westlake.
All right, well, we have had this argument going on at Fox, and I'm sure you've been having it at home as well. If you know high school football, who do you pick? Do you pick Herschel Dennis or Lorenzo Booker as your best back in Southern California? Maybe the best back in the state, and definitely one of the best backs in the country as well. Lorenzo Booker for St. Bonaventure. We had planned to cover St. Bonaventure against the Hart Indians early in the season, but like everyone else, we had our plans changed because of the tragic events of September 11th. But we wanted to include Lorenzo Booker here and let you get a look at him. And JJ, I'll admit, the only time I've seen Booker is at the CIF banquet. So I saw him in action eating, but I've never seen him running on tape. He is phenomenal, a different kind of runner than Herschel Dennis has, very quick feet.
Yeah, quick feet and really explosive. You're right, Jimmy is a different type of runner, but the one thing they both have in common, great vision and great breakaway ability. They just dominate at this level. It'll be very unique and very fortunate next year in the college level to see how they perform. They're both great at the high school level. Really, nobody can handle either one of those backs.
JJ mentions next year on the college level. Where are they going? We're not sure, but SC and UCLA are both on their short list for both Herschel Dennis and Lorenzo Booker. 15-6 at half, the CIF Division II title game on Fox Sports Net 2.
Having some fun, fellas.
Of course, it's all wild. Red tail. What?
Got on film? Let me see. Starting to jump harder now. Put more power to it now. That loud enough for you guys? That was it.
Water sustains life. But why sustain
when you can kick? Gatorade. It's got stuff water doesn't have. Proven to get you not just back, but through, over, and above.
ACC basketball. A dominant form. A superior game. After last season's run to the Final Four, the Terps have reloaded. All-American Lonnie Baxter and number 3 Maryland look to avoid the upset against the University of Detroit. ACC Sunday Night Hoops at 3:30 on Fox Sports Net. Basketball evolved to its highest state.
Tonight at 10, it's the Southern California Sports Report.
Thank you, thank you, thank you!
It's the nightly newscast you've been waiting for.
This is the real deal.
30 minutes every night dedicated to scores, highlights, and interviews from your hometown teams.
We told you it was going to be good.
Your teams, your town, your show. The Southern California Sports Report, tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
You've seen the exciting hit series You Gotta See This. Now available for the first time anywhere, the uncensored video that's just too hot for TV. It's You Gotta See This, too hot for Fox.
Oh.
Call 800-550-7922 to order all the explicit, over-the-top, out-of-control video that Fox Sports Net couldn't show you. For only $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Have your credit card ready and call 800-550-7922. Warning, this high-octane video may be too intense for younger viewers.
You're watching Fox Sports Net 2.
Fox Sports Net 2 presents the high school football game of the week, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab it by the horns. Dodge. You win all your games during the year, and you get to play here. Edison International Field, the CIF Southern Section Division II Championship. Mission Viejo, 15-6 at halftime over Chino. Both teams ranked in the top 5 in Southern California. Jim Watts along with John Jackson. During the first half, we talked a little bit about Chino struggling with that ground game. Mission Viejo's doing a great job defensively.
Yeah, defensively, they're doing a great job of slanting into the gaps and really shutting down that run game. They really minimized Chino, and that's something they're not used to. They're faced with the first part of adversity that they've had to go through all year. It's going to be important for them to to get themselves back together and show up in the second half and play a good game.
You're going to show up in the second half?
I gotta regather myself.
Mission Viejo got on the board first in the first quarter, but not on the ground. They went through the air. Jordan Palmer goes to Brad Bond from 21 yards out. He beats Jimenez on a corner and then backs his way into the end zone, and the Diablos up 7-0 at that point. End of the first half. Robbie Dubois on first down from his 6-yard line hurdles through the line, and he is gone 94 yards end to end. After that, they would go on a shovel pass to Dubois on the extra point, a 2-point conversion for their 15 points. Chino got on the board with Jacob Flo. A handoff with some great blocking on the left side by Cedric Ellis. He goes 45 yards into the end zone, but for Chino, not a lot of production on the ground so far, and they live on the ground. Take a look at the numbers from the first half.
Well, Jim, Chino has been formidable in the first half. They have 11 first downs, but the rushing yardage for Mission Viejo has been the difference. You see that 168. But I'll tell you, the biggest stat going for Chino is a 14 minutes and 31 seconds time of possession. They have dominated that battle, so it's very important for Chino to keep that up and establish that ground game.
Bob Johnson has won 3 CIF titles in his career. He's halfway home to number 4. He's standing by with Frank Martin.
Mack is about to kick the ball off, but Coach, what was the message at a halftime like?
You know, just keep playing hard. You know, it's just going to be a very physical game the whole 4 quarters, and they're very well coached and a good team. We knew we were in a battle, and we are. So it was a lot of fun the first half. We hope we have that much fun in the second.
Okay, I know you got to get back there, so
Hey,
thank
you.
Back to you guys up in the booth, Jim.
Yeah, Bob Johnson seems so relaxed, and, you know, you get that way after you've been on sidelines for so long, 19 years, high school football. Los Amigos, where he began his career, down in Garden Grove. And then El Toro, of course, is where he built the big name. All those great quarterbacks, Steve Stenstrom and Rob and Brett Johnson, his sons, 3 CIF championships. Good times at El Toro. And now, after a 7-year layoff, watching his sons play some college and pro football, he came back to the game at Mission Viejo, and in 3 years has them in the final, undefeated, and with a 15-6 lead at halftime. Now, while we have a chance, let's check in with this week's Scholar Athletes, presented by BP, ARCO, and AMPM. This week, BP honors Megan O'Donohue from Mission Viejo and Jason Smart from Chino. Megan O'Donohue, a basketball player, at 4.39, and Jason Smart, of course, plays on the football team for the Cowboys, 4.4. Great SATs as well. Megan O'Donohue and Jason Smart. Thanks again to BP, which is the ARCO and AMPM brands on the West Coast. All right, Chino down for the first time all year and down at halftime. JJ, how quiet was their locker room, and who was doing the talking?
Well, it's all business, and I can tell you that Frank Hernandez, surprisingly, Jim, probably was doing most of the talking. He is their senior fullback. He's the vocal leader on this team. He is not in uniform today. We talked about that he's out with a nerve damage in his shoulder, so he's not playing. But I can guarantee you at halftime, he was the vocal leader in that locker room trying to get this team pumped up.
JJ, he is a huge part of this offense, not because he carries the ball, but because he blocks for the guys that do. They're not finding success on the ground. He's out of the game. That's an easy equation for me.
Yeah, it's very tough for their running backs, but I can tell you, here's how dominant he has been all year. He is a fullback. They keep track of his pancake blocks like they do for the linemen. That is how dominant he has been from that fullback position. They definitely miss him. But of course, with Flo and Chess in the backfield, that combination is not bad. We'll see if they can right the ship here in the second half.
Mission Viejo will kick off, and Tim Cranowetter is back at his 1-yard line, but he hasn't been able to return any kicks yet because Jeff Ferrier keeps putting the balls deep in the end zone. And his last one, this same direction, almost landed in the dugout on the first base sideline. He is booming the ball. Once again, he steps into it, and once again, he pounds one into the end zone, and this ain't coming back. Now, Chino in the first half struggled during that first quarter, trying to establish the run, and Mission Viejo knew about it. So John Munger now, and Kevin Glab, his junior quarterback. Do they change things around, JJ? Because besides the single touchdown where they drove 54 yards, it was not a good first half for the Cowboys.
Well, I think Coach Munger touched on it when he talked to Frank. He said that they're throwing the ball a little bit more than they usually do. So look for them to really come out and establish the run game and stick with it here in the second half.
They send McFoy in motion, first play of the second half, and go to Kess. And Mission Viejo is all over it.
Powell in the backfield from that linebacker position. Ryan Powell was first on the scene to slow Kess down, and then, of course, the supporting cast comes in. Watch Powell, Jim. Before Kess can even get started, boom, there's Powell right there. The rest of the troops come in and bring Kess down for a short loss.
Second down and 13 after the loss. Kevin Glab, they don't like to throw, and now they're finding themselves in a position in which they almost have to throw. Short drop, and Glab's going to pull it down, and he's going to go down. Wrapped up by Andy Passaretti, defensive end.
Well, Glab that time wanted to take a shot downfield to McFoy. Bliskowski, the cornerback, was in great coverage, but the interior front for Mission Viejo putting pressure on. You see Glab can't even get the ball off, forced to tuck it and pull it down to avoid another loss. That Mission Viejo defense, Jim, playing an inspired game.
And they have played a great game so far. And, you know, it's funny because Chino stopped Mission Viejo on that big defensive stand last year in the quarterfinals, which they stopped Dubois 3 times from the 2-yard line. And at the end of this first half, Mission Viejo with the payback defensively as they keep Chino out of the end zone, and the clock ran out. Chino 3 of 7 on third downs, and this is 3rd and 11 from their 19. Glad with pressure coming. They wanted it to. It's a screen across the middle. That's Ryan Putman. Ryan Putman rambling out across the 40 and a first down. Tommy Rodriguez finally able to bring him down, but the Cowboys will move the chains.
Oh, Coach John Monger, that is a great play call. Go to Putnam, the tight end, a little tight end screen. You see him slip into the middle. Now he's behind the hog, Jim, and anytime you're behind the hog, there's plenty of room to run. You see nobody even in the screen. Putnam with the big first down on 3rd and long.
24 yards out to the 44-yard line for Chino, and that's what they need. Just some good things to happen for John Munger and the guys. Start to believe again. They've never been in this position, down 15-6. No team this year has been within 17 points of the Cowboys, and Mission Viejo dominating that first half. That's a big hit right up the middle. Hand off to Kess. He got about 2 steps and then just got stood up. Chris Bolay.
Jim Bolay is going to step right into the hole and hit Kess helmet to helmet. Boom! Oh, that is great contact. That is textbook tackling by Bolay.
Bolay's second on the team in tackles.
See all those stickers on top of his helmet. Jim, those are awards. They get different stickers for different awards. You see his helmet full of the skull and crossbones. Those are for defensive big plays.
McFoy now to the right. Kess is in the background, along with Jacob Flo. Team out the other way, but a flag, and it could be delay against Chino. Well, Chino looks, and this carries back to that last drive of the first half. This is a veteran team. You have 3 coaches on this staff that were head coaches at other schools, yet they seem to have a problem with communication right now, making some decisions and getting the play on the field.
And if you were Chino, Jim, the penalties are the one thing that will kill you, because you are trying to run the ball, and in order to do that, you have to put yourself in favorable positions. Anytime you put yourself in 2nd and 3rd and long, you're really working against the strength of this offense. So very important for them to play a penalty-free game. Right now, it's 2nd and long.
2nd and 13. And Glab looks to the left and goes again to Putman. Ryan Putman, 2nd catch of the first half, his 3rd catch of the day. Josh Taylor on the coverage.
And Jim, this was really good coverage down the field. Give Glab some credit. He was able to improvise and buy his tight end some more time to uncover. You see him looking down the field, nobody to throw to. Gives his tight end time to open up. Putnam does a nice job of finding the open area. And anytime your quarterback is in trouble, you're caught as a receiver. Flow to his side. If he's rolling to the right, you flow to the right. If he's going left, go left. Give him somebody to bail him out. That time Putnam did that.
Cedric Ellis is again in the backfield. He blocked last time, and they give the big fella the ball this time. Cedric Ellis, who's a defensive tackle and a big one. Ellis goes 6'3", 250 pounds.
But just a great all-around athlete, and when you're in a championship game, that's what you want. You want your best players on the field. You saw him open up a huge hole for Jacob Flo for the touchdown in the first half. Now they're going to use him a little bit at fullback.
Now they just used him to pick up that first down. Now he'll go back to blocking. Richie Powers. We mentioned it a couple of times in the first half, how many different guys Chino will give the football to. Sure, they have the 2,000-yard rushers, but we looked at the stat sheet, there are 9, 10, 11 guys who have carried the football for this team this year.
Yeah, they share the wealth, and there is no rhyme or reason of who plays 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. They just have different plays that suit different types of players, so they insert themselves. The players take that responsibility amongst themselves to go in when it's their time to shine. It's worked all year.
2nd and 7, and this is the other guy that carries McFoy, but this time he's going to throw this football, and it's incomplete. Good coverage by Mission Viejo. They were not fooled. Marcus Daly on the coverage, and Tommy Rodriguez also coming over to help out.
McFoy doing a little bit of everything. Reverse pass.
Good play by Rodriguez.
Rodriguez read it well, but Jim, if you're Chino, you have to hesitate on that ball. That ball had to be thrown about 40 yards in the air by McFoy. If you're the receiver, you want to pause a little bit, let the reverse develop, and then slip behind the corner.
Yeah, they seem to be hurrying everything.
They're rushing everything. It's a big game. A lot of times you tend to do that. If you're Chino, you got to slow down and just execute the game plan.
3rd down and 7 from the 43. Glab, pressure coming, little inside screen to McFoy, and the ball was behind him, and it just killed all of his momentum. They wanted to get the ball to McFoy in the broken field. He had to stop and come back for it.
Jim, this is defensive pursuit and swarm tackling. fundamentals of defense is you want to teach your guys to flow to the ball and watch all the helmets in the area when McFoy catches this ball. He catches it, there's a block outside, but hold it right there. You see, watch the players come in. You're going to see Blaskowski here, and then another player here, and then as we roll it, you see the rest of the troops come, and you just cannot go anywhere against that defense. There's 7, 8 guys in the area. They're doing a great job of flowing to the ball.
Kick is away, and it's a short one, and it dies around the 25-yard line. So Mission Viejo stops Chino the first time out, and only a 19-yard punt. Mission Viejo on top of Chino, 15-6 in the third.
This holiday season, the compact Presario 5000 TPC will come bearing gifts, like a free color printer, a $50 instant rebate, and free shipping. Not to mention a powerful Intel Pentium 4 processor and Microsoft Windows XP Home Edition, all for just $849. And you don't even need to travel afar. Call 1-800-332-1878 to buy now. You'll get 1 great PC and 3 great gifts.
I'm jockey Tyler Bays. Saturday, December 15th, come to Hollywood Park for family fun and thoroughbred horse racing to benefit the local charities that need help during this holiday season. Pick up your free tickets at participating CalFed banks, Vons, Singular Wireless stores, or Penske Auto Centers, and bring it to Hollywood Park on December 15th. For each ticket returned, Hollywood Park will donate $2 to benefit the needy. We will also accept canned goods and clothing. For more information, call 310-419-1549.
Welcome back to the 2001 Division II CIF Southern Section Finals. On Fox Sports Net 2, Jim Watson, John Jackson, Frank Martin, and 2 of the top 5 teams in Southern California, the Diablos of Mission Viejo, number 2, undefeated, and leading 15-6 in the third quarter. In the first half, got a touchdown at the end of the first quarter. That was Palmer to Vaughn from 21 yards out, and the 94-yard touchdown. Look over to the left, one play. Robbie Dubois, a simple handoff.
It has been quick strikes. It's been the key to success for Mission Viejo in the first half.
Taylor Holiday split out wide. And with the lead, he might keep it on the ground. In fact, he put the ball on the ground. Dubois picked it up, and a big loss, and the ball's loose again. Chino says they have it. Kenny Williams comes up with it for the Cowboys.
Defense, defense, defense. Dubois untouched. Oh no, his own player looks like he hit the ball, but then instead of getting on it, fall on it, Robbie. Take your loss. He picks it up and fumbles the ball again. A huge turnover deep in their own territory. Ball pops loose right there, fall on it. As opposed, Chino comes up with a huge defensive play. They are on the doorstep, and the momentum has swung.
All the way down to the 5-yard line. First down for the Cowboys. All day they've been waiting for something good to happen, and it came from their defense. Cedric Ellis made a big play, and Williams got the loose ball. First down. Here they come, Powers. And Mission Viejo stacking it up.
Well, Jim, this mini-series, if you want to call it the 2-year stretch, has been decided in the red zone. Goal line stand for Chino last year kept Mission Viejo out of the end zone, and that really made the determination in that game. And now Chino on the doorstep again. You have to convert in the red zone.
Last year in the quarterfinals at Chino High School, Mission Viejo trying to get back in the game was stopped 3 times inside the 3-yard line. Glab going to keep it. Bootleg, the quarterback. Pulled down short. The hole was there, and just as quickly, it closed.
Hey, Jim, but the quarterback boot wasn't in the game plan. Look at Glab, goes outside. I think he just missed the handoff and does just a nice job of improvising. Glab not known as a running quarterback.
Daly and Padrello are the guys who keep him out of the end zone.
Now maybe it was a half roll, maybe it's a design rollout. Maybe they're just trying to bring a new rabbit out of the bag with Glab rolling. Not known as much of a runner. Picked up valuable yardage there. Matter of fact, on the year, 14 carries, minus 13 yards. Glab, not too much success on the ground.
Third down, the ball just outside the 1-yard line. The toss. And short again. Jacob Wall. They just can't get anything going against Mission Viejo between the tackles. The backers for Mission Viejo are doing such a great job, JJ, of filling those gaps.
Yeah, but Jim, the defensive line is doing a nice job of slanting in the gap, staying low. Look at the pad level. It's mano-y-mano down there, you see. Powell able to finish off the stack, but that defensive line for Mission Viejo is staying low. Chino's offensive line averages 275 pounds. Mission Viejo's defensive line not giving an inch.
And it looks like Chino is going to kick a field goal. Darrell Chamorro, the field goal kicker, is on, number 90, 6'12" on the year, and just a freshman. They're going to kick this, and it's basically an extra point. And he bangs it right through. Well, it's not a bad call from 19 yards because you need 2 scores anyway. So you take the field goal now, you get something out of the turnover. John Munger and the Chino Cowboys got to climb back into the D2 final. They trail 15-9.
Turn right here. Excuse me, do you know where the art museum is?
It's 2 blocks up.
Thank you.
You're into art?
Oh yeah, sculpture mostly. I mean, I like paintings too, but...
The 2002 Mitsubishi Galant.
She was helpful.
Right now, pays 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments till 2003.
Don't worry about when it's time to change your wiper blades. Get Smart Blade, the revolutionary new wiper blade that not only outperforms standard blades, its exclusive wear indicator turns from black to yellow when it needs replacing, which, trust us, will be a while. Smart Blade, it's time for a change. Look for Smart Blade at these stores everywhere.
Mission Viejo coughs it up deep, and Chino turns it into just 3 points. As once again, the Mission Viejo defense with a very good stand. Daly and Dubois are back for Mission Viejo. 15-9, third quarter at Edison Field on Fox Sports Net 2. We thought this would be a good one. It's a great matchup. 2 undefeated teams. Bailey to the 25-yard line. So once again,
nice return by Daly.
So now do you give the ball right back to Robbie Dubois? I would. Give it right back to him.
Well, he is...
Now, Mission Viejo has been stopping Chino all day long, filling the gaps. It was Powell on that last one, and that was at the end of the half.
That was Cole.
Cole got the sack.
And Bolay right there standing him up. And that last third down play, Jim, a great goal line stand, and they kept Chino out of the end zone when their offense really put him right on the doorstep.
And they do give it right back to Robbie Dubois. It doesn't really matter if he gets anything. You need to let him hang on to the football one time and put it behind him. Ryan Aker with the tackle for Chino.
Well, they're not going to go away from Dubois. Remember, 2,529 yards coming into tonight, 33 touchdowns. He is the featured guy. They go behind Dubois. They will give him the ball the rest of the day.
Chino missed an extra point early in the game. That was the reason that it turned into a 2-possession game, a 2-score game. Plus, Mission Viejo had a 2-point conversion after one of theirs. Toss to Dubois. Not a great pitch from Palmer. Dubois had to wait for it a little bit, and then Dubois got popped. And Dubois a little slow getting up. There's a penalty flag. And holding against Mission Viejo. Has any game turned quicker than high school football, JJ? It's all Mission Viejo, and one play changes everything. Now they're struggling. They can't get anything going, and now Chino's getting all of that penetration on the defensive side.
Yeah, momentum swings are the key, especially in high school sports, because you have a huge crowd here at Edison Field, and such an emotional game. Everything that goes right or wrong for another team quickly swings the game. You see that Chino defense playing much better defense after the fumble by Dubois.
So now it's going to be second down and 19. Ball at the 16-yard line. Dubois, the only guy in the backfield. Mission Viejo has to be very careful down here. Well, that's pretty careful. A short handoff to Dubois. Cedric Ellis, big number 49, has been having a day. Is it in his head now, JJ? Is Robbie Dubois thinking about it?
Well, I think that he has to be more careful with the ball, but you know, as we've talked about all day long, Dubois has gone for over 2,000 yards 2 consecutive years. There have been some fumbles mixed in that, so he knows how to respond. He is a senior. He's a veteran. He knows how to respond to adverse situations.
3rd down and 15. Palmer to throw. Good protection, lofts one out. Cranwetter was there. Intercepted, Tim Cranwetter. We knew he'd get one.
You talk about momentum swings. Well, turnovers are the quickest thing to get those swings and momentum. Cranwetter with a great interception, just goes up to the highest point, and he just takes it away.
That was Hardman, the intended receiver. Cranwetter, perfect coverage, JJ. And he looked back, he looked like the receiver.
Great position by Cranwetter on that interception. We'll see if that offense can also feel this momentum swing and see if they can get on track, because so far the Mission Viejo defense has owned them.
Tima and McFoy, the wideouts. And they're going to throw. McFoy. And McFoy covered immediately. Joe Fleskowski. Fleskowski is the leader of this secondary for Mission Viejo. 6 interceptions. He's returned 2 of them for touchdowns. Back in the semifinals, he had 2 interceptions to return 1 for a 58-yard touchdown. Just a 1-yard gain. And Mission Viejo says that Chino moved, and they're right. The officials throw the flag. Should be procedure.
Jimmy, you talk about Fleskowski. He is the team's best corner. He missed his entire junior year, though, with a broken finger on his hand. He had pins placed in his hand, so really he's coming back for his senior year. Fleskowski, number 25, he has been marrying Chris McFoy all game long. Done a pretty good job at this point.
Fleskowski could end up in the Pac-10, Oregon and Washington State. Keeping an eye on him. Little counter to Kess. He was wrapped up initially at the line of scrimmage by Chris Cole and ran out of that tackle to pick up a short bit. It's going to be 3rd down and long now.
Another tough situation for this Chino Cowboy offense. 3rd and long, 3rd and about.
Oh, it's not their, you know, this is not their down and distance, 3rd and 14, yet surprisingly, they've had some success going to the tight end. Ryan Putman. McFoy. Kyle Davidson is also split out wide. Inside to McFoy, and he is absolutely drilled by Joe Fleskowski.
Jim, I told you Fleskowski has been marrying McFoy all game long. That time, he's able to get McFoy before he can even get his feet planted on the ground. Watch Fleskowski come from his cornerback position. He's man-to-man. He comes up and makes a huge hit. Emotions in this game running high, momentum swings. Mission Viejo counteracts Chino's momentum with a defensive play of their own.
And now Fleskowski waits for the punt. They've been kicking it away from him. He wants one. Going to take it on a bounce right at the sideline. He can't do anything but run out of bounds. That should draw a flag. He was 3 or 4 yards out of bounds. Let's go down to Frank Martin, who has a very special guest. You might be a little distracted at this time of the game.
Yeah, you know what, Jim? I'm not down on the field anymore. I'm up here in the stands. We get a wave here. I'm in the Mission Viejo section of the club level, and my special guest wearing the Fox Sports Net hat, Carson Palmer, quarterback at USC. Carson, what a game, huh?
It's awesome. It's 2 good teams going at it right now. It's just fun to watch.
Now, we came up here right after your brother threw the ball deep downfield. We didn't know if you were going to give us this interview, but how's he doing so far in this game?
He's doing good. Other than the last ball, he's looking good. The team looks good right now. The offensive line's blowing up in some holes for the running backs, and it's been a good game. It's been exciting.
Let's get back to Jim real quick and then ask him one more question.
And just a short run off the left side. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Frank, what about the Las Vegas Bowl?
That's what I was just going to ask Carson. Carson, the big bowl game coming up here in a couple of weeks. You guys ready?
Yeah, we're excited. We got a couple weeks away. We're getting to go to Vegas and getting to experience Las Vegas and have some fun out there.
You like going back to the high school game also? So your brother played not only that, but you seem like you guys got the baby right there wants to get on TV too. Is that the next quarterback?
Yeah, hopefully. He's been throwing his water ball around the stands, knocking people out. He's got a pretty good arm.
How's his footwork?
He needs to work on his footwork. He's young. He's got some years.
All right, we're going to go back to Jim. Thank you, Carson. Thanks a lot.
Carson Palmer, of course, watching his little brother, Jordan Palmer. Mission Viejo, a little slow start here in the second half, but they continue to lead Chino 15-9. We come back to the big ad.
What NFL Hall of Fame running back was the leading high school rusher in 1978? Eric Dickerson. What current NFL quarterback twice threw for 8 touchdowns in the first half of a high school game? Chris Redman. What baseball legend set the high school record with 4 kickoff touchdowns in one game? Roger Maris. If you like this kind of stuff, you'll love the new Student Sports National High School Football Record Book, now available through Amazon.com or by calling 800-888-8477.
When someone took his pride...
Are you, like, threatening to hit me? I'm gonna go with, yeah.
Joe Shepard...
You took something of mine, I want it back.
...took a stand.
Try to hit me in the face.
Do people ever come back here? This Christmas, be bold.
What are you, like 12?
Be brave.
Hey.
Be somebody.
You talking to me?
Tim Allen is Joe Somebody.
I'll take everything I see here, and if necessary, I will buy that head.
The Christmas comedy for everybody. Rated PG, December 21st.
Mom, Dad, can we keep him?
Oh, yeah. We can keep him.
Wiener Schnitzel, America's most wanted hot dog. And now, for just $2, you can get both a chili cheeseburger and a chili cheese dog.
Unwrap savings now at Good Guy's Great Gift Sale. If there's a DVD player on your list, don't miss this. A Mitsubishi Dolby digital DVD player. You get great sound, a great picture, and truly breakthrough savings. Specially priced at $139. See and hear the difference your DVD player makes with this Mitsubishi 46-inch widescreen HD upgradable projection TV, just $21.99. And for a limited time, no payments until 2003. The Great Gift Sale is on now. Better stuff, fiercely competitive prices, Good Guys.
So much of a Chino. Oh, hey! Come on. Great move. Shoot it, Korea. He scores! Yeah!
Back at the CIF Southern Section Division II Championship, Edison International Field. Jim Watson, John Jackson, and Frank Martin with it. Mission Viejo leading Chino 15-9. Late in the third quarter, Jordan Palmer has a touchdown pass already today, thrown to Brad Vaughn, but that was a long time ago, second quarter. Actually, that was the end of the first quarter, that touchdown. And even longer than that. Palmer, Nevada, UTEP, and Washington, the schools looking at him.
Yeah,
modest numbers, but they're always modest for Jordan. They don't throw the ball a lot at Mission Viejo.
No, they don't throw the ball a lot, Jim. But even that last interception, although he did throw an interception, it was 3rd and long. He threw that ball about 40 yards in the air, so it really turned into almost a punt. So he took his shots down the field. If you're going to throw an interception, you pick the right time to do it.
Palmer, play action. Soft roll. Got a man. Is it Vaughn? Out to the 45-yard line. It's not Vaughn. It's Mark Dunn, the tight end.
I tell you, Jordan Palmer really growing into this quarterback position, Jim. Last year, he sat behind Billy Hart. Didn't get a chance to start at quarterback. He sat on the bench as a junior. But now in his senior year, really getting better as the weeks go on. And I think it's just really playing time and experience that's really helped Jordan. That's really a tough throw, that last one. Rolling to his right, off of 1 foot, delivered a strike.
3 guys in the backfield behind Palmer. The deep toss to Robbie Dubois. He is forced back inside. Ruben Munoz getting into the backfield to disrupt it and turn Dubois back in where the help is.
I think this Chino defense has finally got a little bit of a feel of Mission Viejo's offense and what they're trying to do. They're flowing much better to the ball here in the second half, not giving Dubois any running lanes, and that is the key when you're trying to stop such a dangerous back as Dubois. You want to make sure that you flow to the ball, not too fast, because he is a good cutback runner, and when you get to him, make sure you shore up and tackle. They've done that here in the second half.
So far on the night, Dubois 20 carries for 143 yards. He's got a touchdown. He's also got a 2-point conversion. He's the deep man again on 2nd and 11 from the 44. And that's going to make things easier for Mission Viejo. Angelo to Istala.
Yeah, Angelo said he came to Chino because he's never played for a winner before. Came to Chino High School. He's on a winning team. They're in the CIF championship game. It's really a dream of a lifetime for Angelo.
Apparently, Tusitala got a little emotional after the San Clemente win when he realized he's going to be playing in a final.
Yeah, the coaches asked him, hey, Angelo, what's wrong? He just said, hey, coach, I've never been playing for a winner. I'm just happy to be in this championship game.
Good kick out blocked by Mission Viejo, but Dubois able to get just a yard or two. Keith Williams, the left guard, coming out, trying to spring Robbie Dubois. Now, Mission Viejo defense is playing so well that the offense can be a little bit conservative. They don't have to go down the field and score, because right now Chino is having a tough time against the Mission Viejo defense.
Yeah, and you can tell by the play calling that Bob and Brett Johnson feel the same way, Jim. They have been more conservative here in the second half, allowing their defense to really win this game for them. They have been conservative. We'll see if they throw it here. No, they're back on the ground.
Dubois looking for the cutback, looking for a seam. Cedric Ellis turns him around and puts him back.
Cedric Ellis, Jim, is unblockable. He's a legitimate 4'8", 40 defensive lineman, very rare at any level, much less high school. And watch him come up and just flow to this play. Right there, the buck stops with Ellis. Textbook tackle right at the line of scrimmage.
Is he talking to him right there?
He is letting them know.
Face guard to face guard. 4th down and 3, and so Mission Viejo have to kick it away again. Jared Derensberg to kick for the Diablos, and Cranwetter is back. He's going to take this at his 12-yard line, right on his shoe tops. Pops off for one tackle, looking for some space. Mission Viejo has 6 or 7 guys right there. There's a flag all the way back out near the 40-yard line. 35 yards on the kick and just 3 yards on the return. We'll see what Stan Dominguez, the referee, comes up with. Somebody leave too early for Mission Viejo. Now, they say it's against Chino.
Yeah, and they're probably trying to sort out if it's before or after the kick. That could make all the difference whether Mission Viejo picks it up a first down here.
That's a personal foul against Chino.
Okay, now the timing of the personal foul makes a big difference here, Jim. If it was before the kick,
I think it is, because the offense for Mission Viejo is coming back on the field. Dubois is back on the field. Holiday's coming back out. These are all offensive guys for Mission Viejo, so that would mean it's before the kick, and that's a huge first down.
Oh, what a big break for Mission Viejo. That's really tough on the Chino defense, because they did such a great job of stopping Mission Viejo, getting their offense the ball back, then a critical penalty by the special team.
Now they're explaining it to John Munger of Chino. You know, John's not a real fiery guy, so he's not going to have a big argument with an official, but it doesn't mean he agrees with it.
No, but obviously being on the sideline, he probably did not have a good chance to see it, so he takes the official's word for it. Really just keeps a straight face, because you want your defense to go out and handle business here.
Look at this, Mission Viejo with the ball at the 32-yard line. Play action to Dubois. And there's Cranwetter again. They try to go to Hardman, and Cranwetter has been all over him. That was the matchup when Tim had the interception on the last possession.
Boy, and he was not fooled at all. This is one of the plays that Mission Viejo put in, especially for Chino. You see the half roll going right, and then Palmer's going to throw back to his left. Cranwetter not fooled, though. Great defensive coverage. Hardman actually ran a post and broke back out to the corner. Cranwetter up to that challenge, breaks up that play. Big play for the Chino defense.
2nd and 10, Holiday and Vaughn, the wide guys. Dubois, the deep man in the eye. It is Dubois. Stumbles forward.
His ball's loose again,
Ball is
Jim.
loose. Chino says ours. Let's watch the referees, watch the guy in the white hat. Now Mission Viejo says, no, we got it back.
And they do.
Stan Dominguez says, Mission Viejo football, 3rd down.
Chance to look at the fumble. You're going to see Dubois go into the stack. Chino defense do a good job of stripping the ball out. It looked like either Dubois got back on the ball. Like nothing but Chino players in that stack, but somehow it looked like he was able to recover his own fumble.
Ryan Aker was the guy for Chino who stripped it loose. That's 3 fumbles now for Robbie Dubois. Of course, 2 of them came on the same play. Play action to Dubois. You got Vaughn dragging across. Palmer's going to keep it. And Palmer turned around at the 26-yard line.
Well, Jordan Palmer, a fairly agile quarterback. Play fake to Dubois. Chino defense, though, just really has a great read on what Mission Viejo is trying to do offensively. They are swarming to the ball, making great tackles. No place to go for Palmer. And a nice tackle by Jimenez.
So now Mission Viejo is faced with a 4th down. It'll be 4th down and 4 at the 27-yard line. Look at Bob Johnson. It's a CIF final. It's 4th down. He leads by 6 points. Have a little drink. We'll talk about things. Got plenty of time. Calls a timeout. 15-9, Mission Viejo.
ACC basketball. A dominant form. A superior game. After last season's run to the Final Four, the Terps have reloaded. All-American Lonnie Baxter and number 3 Maryland look to avoid the upset against the University of Detroit. ACC Sunday Night Hoops at 3:30 on Fox Sports. Basketball evolved to its highest state.
Here are the rules. There are no rules. I'm a fan, brother. That's more than an athlete. And the brain power up here is simply staggering. You are a wuss, obnoxious, sexy man.
Fat bastard.
I'm trying to talk over here.
The best damn sports show, period. Sports television redefined.
It's over.
It's the D2 final at Edison International Field on Fox Sports Net 2. Jim Watson, John Jackson, Frank Martin on a 4th down and 4. Mission Viejo is going to try a field goal. Jeff Ferrier has been kicking balls into the end zone all night on kickoffs. Does he have the leg? A 42-yarder, make it a 43-yarder. Up and over the uprights. And it's good. Jeff Ferrier gives Mission Viejo a 9-point lead with 7:35 to play. 42 yards.
Oh, what a huge kick by Ferrier. We knew he had the leg for it. It was just a matter of accuracy.
Does he know it?
It's a championship. You feel it. He knows he has enough.
He says, I got it. 42 yards. And once again, it's a 2-score game. So they trade field goals here in the second half.
Jim Ferrier has this tremendous leg. I mean, he's shown it today. But I went to practice on Wednesday, and he was actually ruining the kickoff return drills because he kept kicking it too far. They couldn't even get a return.
He's done that to Chino today. Cranwetter hasn't been able to return 1 kickoff yet today. I don't know. Maybe your player of the game, the kicker?
At this point, he might be.
Now tonight on Fox Sports Net 2, don't miss exciting NBA action. The Clippers taking on the Charlotte Hornets. The action starts 30 minutes before tip-off. Clippers courtside at 6 o'clock. And then NBA action follows at 6:30. Clippers basketball beginning at 6 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Net 2. Be sure to tune in and check it out.
Well, Jim, that completely changes the complexion of this game. Chino now has to score twice, and they need to score quickly. 7:41 left. A running team that wants to run the ball, but they can ill afford to because they need 2 scores.
Cranwetter standing back there, and it's almost like he knows it's a waste of time because he thinks Ferrier's just going to kick it over his head. Got to be frustrating. He's played a great game, got an interception. Jeff Ferrier again. from the 40 in high school. And everyone has gone deep into the end zone. One landed on the back line. That'd be 70 yards. And he does it again. And Cranwetter gave that one a look. And then, like Barry Bonds watching a home run, just ran away from it.
Just walked off.
Jeff Ferrier, 42-yard field goal, makes it 18-9.
Boy, what an advantage having Ferrier. But I can tell you, Bob Johnson told me they weren't going to kick any field goals today. He said, we're going for it all the time. But I asked him what kind of leg Ferrier had, how far a field goal would they try with him. He turned to his son, Brett, and said, Brett, how far are we going to try a field goal? And Brett said, we aren't kicking any field goals. We're going to go for it on 4th down. It proves to be a big, vital part in this game. That field goal making it a two-score game.
So now Chino's going to have to go to a little bit of trickery. Kess gets it on the reverse, and Kess is knocked out of bounds. Joe Fleskowski. Now, Chino doesn't have a lot of pass plays, but they do have some trickery.
Yeah, and here we go with the reverse. Goes to McFoy, and then to Kess. A lot of weapons on this Chino offense. They can give the ball to any of 3 or 4 guys that can make big plays and break a long run that can put them on the board fast. They need one now. 2,000-yard rushers. One of the best receivers in California.
At one point in the game, JJ, you just got to stretch this defense and throw the ball down to Chris McFoy and see if he can come down with a big catch for you.
Well, right now they have him double covered, so that'll be tough.
They're looking at him. They throw to McFoy, and Fleskowski is all over that.
I tell you, Mission Viejo knows that they have to go to McFoy, so what they've done is they've rolled Fleskowski up in coverage and also have Tommy Rodriguez back. See McFoy able to get a hand in. That's a great job of coverage. He's the rolled up guy. He'll be in bump and run on McFoy, guaranteed the rest of this game.
Well, Fleskowski may take a chance on one of these, JJ, if he knows it's there and he knows that somebody's got his back. You step in front of that receiver.
And that's exactly the situation. They have him bracketed again. McFoy double covered.
That's the first incompleted pass for Kevin Glapp in 10 tries. He's going deep down the middle, and he's got Tima. It's not McFoy, it's Tima. The guy they never throw it to.
Experienced coaching, Jim. Coach Monger recognized it as we did up here, and he told his quarterback, go to the backside. Hit Tima, he has one-on-one coverage. They run McFoy on out. Glapp does a nice job of looking at McFoy, and that took Rodriguez out of the middle. A huge play down the field to Tima. They are back in business, and look at the separation Tima has. He's really behind the corner there. That's a great throw and catch.
45 yards on the catch and carry.
Look at the celebration. Nick Glapp knows this isn't over yet. It's just getting started.
Glapp back on the ground. Richie Powers spinning between the guards and inside the 20-yard line. Under 7 minutes now. Chino needs to score and then get a stop and then score again.
Now, Jim, they need to show a little bit of sense of urgency with their offense. You need to get into the huddle, call the play, and get out of the huddle. That'll save you some time. Remember, they have all of their timeouts, so they will be able to stop the clock when Mission Viejo gets the ball back, but right now they have to score.
Again on the ground. The Chino fans get a little restless, a few boos. They know what they're doing. 6.5 minutes is forever in high school football. John Munger comes out to talk to Kevin Glapp. You know, you can always tell the veteran coaches, JJ, because they make their quarterback run to them. Come on over here. I don't want to yell. John Barnes does it at Los Alamitos, too. Been doing this too long. I'm not going to yell. Come over here. I have something to tell you.
On some teams, the quarterback has to be the best conditioned athlete on the field because he'll cover more territory than even the running back.
Tima is out wide. Powers the deep guy. Play action. Glapp. He's looking for the tight end. There's a penalty flag down. That ball knocked away and out of bounds. They were going for Putnam. Putnam was about a yard deep in the end zone, and Glapp was trying to get the football to him, but it is a hold. It was right in front of Kevin Glapp. Once again, they're faced with a big decision. Every time they get in close, and either they make a mistake like here, or Mission Viejo's defense rises up.
Now remember, Jim, if you are Chino, it is very important that you pick up probably about 10 to 15 yards on this play. You don't necessarily have to get a first down.
You just need a field goal rate. Just got to get a field goal. Because you're going to have to get 2 scores. Chamorro, their field goal kicker, has a pretty good leg. He's hit from 48 yards this season.
Well, I'd love to see Coach Monger either go back to Tima or try Putnam the tight end. We haven't seen him lately. A nice seam route to the tight end could be wide open right down the middle.
Well, a field goal from right here would be 48 yards. Glab gonna throw. Deep on the corner, Cranaway. And Travis Whittick made the play, and Glab has held his wrist. So you have to question it just a bit, JJ, because if you're just looking for the field goal, why are you throwing the ball all the way to the end zone?
Yeah, well, I would have liked to see either that tight end screen pass that worked so well for him in that long yardage situation, but they're going to try to go down the field. Oh, Glab takes a huge hit. Chris Cole, the leading sack leader.
And the crowd watching it on the big screen here at the stadium, and they gasp right along with us. He's still down.
Now their backup quarterback is Joe Nathis, a sophomore. We'll see if Glab can recover from this injury.
Let's go down to Frank Martin on the sideline.
Not to go for the field goal. It happened in the first quarter. They don't want to kick on the dirt. That's probably the reason they didn't go for a field goal. In this case, their kicker was slipping. His plant foot was slipping about 4 inches every single kick that he took from that dirt. That might be one of the factors.
Yeah, Frank, I saw you as I was heading up to the press box. I looked over my shoulder to get that last glance at the field, and Frank was out talking to the Chino place kicker and holder.
Well, he's going to take his shot, and he will be kicking from that dirt that Frank talked about, so we'll see if he's able to get his foot planted.
Terrell Chamorro, a 47-yard field goal attempt.
If you're the kicker, Jim, you want to shorten your steps and your approach.
That ball is blocked.
Yeah, sure enough, he slipped.
Well, he had to keep it low, but he just couldn't get any footing. It's not easy, obviously, playing on a baseball field. And usually it's the plant foot.
Yeah, he's kicking from that shortstop area.
Watch his left. Yeah, you see it just, yeah, there it is. No chance.
Very tough situation. Good point by Frank, but see the coach trying to
if you knew that,
counsel his kicker.
Maybe you throw that ball to the left side, get it over on that left hash mark. He could have kicked off grass from that side. So now Mission Viejo obviously just going to try to burn clock here with 5:46. They know Chino needs the ball twice. Toss to Dubois. Right side. Good hole. Dubois out near the 40-yard line. The Mission Viejo fans all thinking the same thing. Hold on.
Ken Williams with that stop. You're Chino, you have to be thinking that. You can get the strip from Dubois. Been carrying the ball loosely here in the second half. Didn't prop it up at all in the first half, but so far he's laid it on the rug 3 times here in the second half. Brett Johnson might be thinking Ryan Powell, the fullback, in this situation.
You know, Bob Johnson's not going to put this football in the air unless it's something very safe. It is Powell. Across the 40. Clock under 5 minutes to play now. Bob Johnson, 3 CIF championships at El Toro. He's been at Mission Viejo just his 3rd season. They hold on here. They win CIF. They're undefeated. And they're in the top 25 in the country. They're the 3rd best team in the state of California. Behind De La Salle and Poly.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's pretty much the top shelf right there.
Number 24 in the nation.
Dubois. And of course, those national rankings are real arbitrary, but you know, Mission Viejo nationally doesn't have the name of a Modern Day or a Long Beach Poly, and obviously De La Salle. So I think people are a little late to the party here. This team may be better than that. They may be a top 15 team in the country.
Yeah, well, they really have to make a name for themselves this year, Jim. As you mentioned, nobody's ever heard of Mission Viejo prior to Bob Johnson's arrival here. Turn this program around very quickly.
Well, they beat Modern Day early in the year, and that was the one, at least all the folks down in South Orange County said, wow, what's up with Mission Viejo this year?
Yeah, that game did put them on the map. Talked about it earlier. They allowed Modern Day 13 first-half rushing yards.
Dubois on a counter out near midfield. And, of course, the clock continues to roll. Watch Dubois meet Cedric Ellis as he gets clear of the line. Watch 49 come and find number 33.
Yeah, just a counter by Dubois. Ellis has been making all the tackles defensively. He's had an outstanding game. Robbie Dubois, another big game. Making second in about 3.
Every time they pick up a first down, they can burn another almost 2 minutes off the clock. Palmer taking all the time he wants. Toss to Dubois. Pressure upfield. Dubois just runs around it. Now see if he stays in bounds. He's finally run out, but he gets the first down. Big gainer for Mission Viejo.
First down, first down.
And maybe it's enough now.
Jim, I'm really surprised by the effectiveness of this Mission Viejo offensive line. They get out on the perimeter and let Dubois turn the corner untouched. Remember, Chino knows the Mission Viejo has to run the ball in this situation, and
well, they're taking chances. You see Kenny Williams, the linebacker, he was trying to gap it. And so that left nobody outside.
Yeah, they're just driving the ball right now.
Chino's trying to gamble defensively, make something happen, got to get the football back. And for Mission Viejo, you don't have to score, you're just moving the ball away from your own end zone. Dubois up the middle, dropped to his knees quickly. And it should be around 2:45 the next time they have to snap this football. And now they'll stop it. Timeout, Chino. Well, that's what they're down to now. Trying to keep Robbie Dubois and Mission Viejo from the CIF championship. It looks pretty good if you're a Diablo fan. 18-9.
The Dodge Durango. It not only hauls almost 4 tons, it's the lowest priced SUV you can get with a V8 engine.
Oh, great. Stuck behind another one of these.
Now get 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection and 0% APR on 2002 Dodge Durango.
Having some fun, fellas.
Presents all wild. Red tail. What?
Got on film? Let me see. Starting to jump harder now. Put more power to it now. That loud enough for you guys? That was it.
D2 final at Edison International Field on Fox Sports Net 2. Mission Viejo trying to wrap up a perfect season to give Chino their first loss of the year. Robbie Dubois. And Dubois carrying guys all the way down to the 22-yard line.
Boy, they have just worn down this Chino defense. Talked about time of possession being the key. Well, right now, Mission Viejo looks like they're getting the best of it. Dubois with huge holes to run through. Brett Johnson and Mission Viejo content to keep the ball on the ground. Dubois has to be close to the 200-yard mark.
Well, at 194 yards, JJ. And El Powell. And you got to give a lot of credit to the Mission Viejo offensive line. Through Radovich, Keith Williams, David Dunphy, Dan Dugan, Nate Wimber. These guys have done a fantastic job, especially on this drive, but most of the day as well.
Yeah, they average 6'2", 235, as opposed to Chino's offensive line that averages 275. But they've used quickness, technique, and agility to open holes for their running backs all game.
JJ, we were talking with Bob Johnson about this team and going over all of his players, and I said, how about your offensive line? Because he says, hey, that's the strength of my team. I say, you like these guys? He says, hey, we're undefeated, we're in the final. I like every one of these guys right now. And then he started barking at him again.
Well, let the truth be known, this was the question mark coming into the year, how well this offensive line would respond. They knew they had the back. This offensive line is played up to their ability.
Second down and 5, Dubois over the right guard before he's upended. And Dubois a little slow to get up. That one hurt. But in a minute and a half, he won't even be thinking about it. Out for CIF title for Bob Johnson. You think it's safe, JJ?
Yeah, I think he can rest easy now, although there is no love lost between these two teams. He brought up that game last year against Chino.
Mission Viejo, as a school, hasn't won since 1978. Bob Johnson won titles in 82, 86, and 87, all at El Toro. Lost in the final in 89, lost in the semis in 90. And then he took a long sabbatical.
Yeah, 7 years to take some time to watch his sons go through college and play college football and have great college and pro careers.
Now he's going to start celebrating right now. He took off the headset, put down the clipboard. He's pointing at the Mission Viejo fans. Says, that one's for you.
Tremendous support for this program. Really a first-class program. Actually, both schools, Jim. You see him get the Gatorade. Come on, guys, you missed him.
He's got to wear that shirt on the plane tonight. Well, he's still coaching him. Doesn't want him to celebrate just yet. And Palmer's going to keep it himself.
Bob Johnson still has that intensity. His second Gatorade bath looks like it's going to come, Jim.
I don't think he liked that first one.
He's going to get a second one, though, even if he doesn't like it.
Yeah, especially for the seniors, because what can he do to them now?
That's right.
Mission Viejo with a 15-6 lead.
Oh, they decide to get Brett.
They get Brett Johnson instead. And you can start the celebration in the South County. Mission Viejo beats Chino 18-9 in the final. JJ, so many heroes for Mission Viejo, but you got to give it first off to the defense. Just shut down a very powerful offense for Chino.
Yeah, just an incredible defensive game plan, Jim. They slant in the gaps all game long, let the linebackers make the plays. They were really stout in the secondary. Blaskowski came up big. This defense really deserves the credit for this championship. They were outstanding today. They shut down a very good Chino offense.
That guy that Bob Johnson ran over and hugged, the guy in the hat, the guy he pointed at, ran over and hugged, that was Scott Miller, the old receiver from UCLA. Went on and played for the Dolphins. And a very good staff he has assembled.
Yeah, it's an incredible staff. He has former coaches, former players, all on his staff. 3 former El Toro coaches, 2 former players are currently on his staff. It's really a tight-knit family group. He has really got this program on track in just a short time. Bob Johnson, another CIF championship.
14-0. Second in SoCal, third in the state, 24th in the nation, and a pretty easy road through the final. Upland gave him a bit of a challenge, but they handled Etowanda. Then the Upland game, then they absolutely drilled Alta Loma, and now they beat a undefeated and great Chino football team. 18-9, your final score. Ryan Powell, Jordan Palmer, and the boys have finished a perfect season. And now it's on to college. 18-9, we'll come back and wrap things up, maybe talk to the coach.
Fierce, so bold. It's fierce.
Presenting the gift. Surprise!
The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Oh, the Millers have a new Lexus.
Not the Millers. You.
You'll find special values whether you buy or lease.
It's beautiful.
Well, we got you a new CD player.
The December to Remember sales event. Missing it will definitely spoil the surprise.
I cannot believe this!
See your Southern California Lexus dealer.
Don't worry about when it's time to change your wiper blades. Get Smart Blade, the revolutionary new wiper blade that not only outperforms standard blades, its exclusive wear indicator turns from black to yellow when it needs replacing, which, trust us, will be a while. Smart Blade. It's time for a change. Look for Smart Blade at these stores everywhere.
Want to get a great $6 restaurant burger without the restaurant? The $6 burger, only $3.95 at Carl's Jr.
Now you can paint it red and gold. Mission Viejo beats Chino in the CIF D2 final at Edison International Field of Anaheim. And for head coach Bob Johnson, another CIF championship. He's downstairs with Frank Martin.
Thank you very much, Jim. Joined by Coach Johnson. Fending off everybody wants to talk to the coach you won, and that's what you did back here. Edison Field is the scene, and you get the victory. How's it feel?
Awesome. I'm just so happy for our school, and seniors especially. You know, we've been there before, and it's so cherished by the seniors. They'll never forget it. Nobody will, but, and from our principal right on down, I'm so happy, our athletic director, everybody, but more importantly, the kids and our coaching staff, too. They're awesome people. We love it. And Chino's got a great team. We knew it would be a great game and a dogfight till the end, and it was.
This one was kind of a classic, but your guy, Robbie Dubois, you mentioned your seniors, and he went out on top. I mean, what a game by Robbie.
Yeah, it was, you know, and he had a couple fumbles. He's doing that, but we'll forget about all those now. He had a great game. He plugs back in there. And we're the ones, I told Gary in the interviews earlier, we don't kick field goals. We don't kick field goals, and that was a big field goal by our guys. So we just don't normally kick them. We'd rather just go for it. But that field goal was huge, too. But our hats are off to them. They did a great job, and it's tough to come here and not win, and they just did a great job.
Your defense also, they down to the goal line a couple of times. I think they were in the red zone in the first quarter, missed on points, and then down there at the second half, had a chance to score again, but your defense stepped it up.
Yeah, all year they've been stepping it up. They're very, very stingy. Marty Mickelson and Steve and all those guys do such a great job defensively, and our kids rally. It's the players. It's all about the players, and I'm really happy for them.
But also it's about you. Is this why you came back to win one of these things?
Not one, but that's why I came back. We wanted to get back up to the top in a hurry, and we have, and we're going to stay there.
Scary for the rest of the CIF Southern section. Thanks a lot, Coach. Congratulations. Back up to you, Jim, in the booth.
All right, and congratulations to Bob Johnson from JJ and I upstairs as well, and to the folks at Chino. A great season for them as they lose just one time. Here's your final numbers, and you look at the total yards, JJ, pretty close.
Yeah, it was a close game, and we knew it was going to be a close game, but the difference was Mission Viejo was able to do their game plan. They were able to run the ball. You see 227 yards, where Chino only had 132. Remember, we talked about at the top, both teams wanted to run the ball. Mission Viejo was a better running attack today, and that's why they came out on top.
And for Mission Viejo, Robbie Dubois, 31 carries, 203 yards, and a 94-yard touchdown run as Mission Viejo wins their first CIF championship since 1978. Diablos finished 14-0, and Chino finishes 12-1. That is going to do it for us. For Micah King, your producer, and John Jackson and Frank Martin, I'm Jim Watson saying so long for the Big N. Your final score again, Mission Viejo 18, Chino 9. And just a reminder to tune in to the Southern California Sports Report tonight at 10 for all the latest in local sports news. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next fall as we bring you more exciting football action on our high school football game of the week from the D2 final at Edison Field. Mission Viejo takes home a big plaque.